Listen. It's another day of college football, man. Penn State survives Indiana. Oregon makes a statement out west in Rice Eccles. Southern Cal and Caleb Williams. Another close one. The Dogs and the Gators in the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. Listen, man, where does Clemson go from here? Penn State, I said. Who else? We got Auburn gets their first conference win and trouble in the Big 12. We're going to talk about all of that tonight on the Saturday Night Snap Count. It's your boy, Coach I. Let's get into it.
No, I got you on this one, Coach I. It ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The fanatic. Well, we keep it 100, keep it real. That's the only way we know how to be. Talking that sports talk. You know what I'm saying? Straight out of South Carolina. Upstate, A64. Yeah. FANATTIC. The fanatic where we keep it OG. We talking sports, so I call.
What's going on, college football fans? Welcome to the Fanatic on Saturday Night Snap Count. Tonight is Saturday. Y'all know how we do every Saturday night, man. We talk college football wrap up, man. Hey, it's some good games still going on, man. UCLA is up 21-9 on Colorado. Sad for Colorado. Shiloh got a target and penalty, man. He was playing really good, and I thought that was going to hurt them. We'll see if they can, muster up some more points to get back in this game. Ohio State in a tough one with Wisconsin at Wisconsin, 17-10. Ohio State's up. I was watching the Oklahoma State game, and they were up on Cincinnati, but I do not have that one on currently. And Washington was in the dogfight with Stanford, man. So we got a lot to talk about tonight, man. So y'all hang in there with us, man. And if you watching on YouTube, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel, man, because we talk college football all day, almost every day. Not every day, but almost every day, man. So before we get started, man, listen, if you are going to one of these college football games that are so intriguing, man, and you're going to buy a ticket anyway, why not go to SeatGeek and use FANATTICSPORTS as your promo code, man. Hey, SeatGeek sponsors the channel, and you get $20 off your first purchase. If you're going to the game anyway, why not go ahead and save $20, man? Let's go ahead and get into it, man. Let's bring our guests on, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. My guy Jason from Hall of Fame College Football is always with us. What's going on, Jason? I think we'll wait for Jason to come back to his chair. And my guy Stat Guy's calling in. Let me make sure we've got everything right. Stat, all right. Stat Guy on the horn with us. What's up, Stat Guy?
What's going on tonight, Coach?
Hey, man, a lot of good college football, man. Week 9 is bringing all the interesting storylines here, you know.
Yeah, you know what? I'm sitting here watching this Ohio State game. Trayvon Henderson just busted a long touchdown run, so they're up 14 now.
Yeah, man. So they look like they're getting it done, man. Let's go ahead and while we wait on our guy Jason, man, let's go ahead and say hi to some of the people. Nathan Campbell was in here at least with the comment at a 7-Eleven. What's going on, Nathan? My guy Mars, what's going on, Mars? Said Notre Dame, great job. That's right, Notre Dame beat the Pitt out of Pitt. My guy Steve B, what's up, Steve? He said, I'm still pissed drinking since we lost. Hey, man, ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Have a couple of libations, man, to ease the pain. We'll get into it, man. Y'all hang with us. Sooner Lemon is up in the building. Say, don't worry, we'll be okay. It'll be okay. Steve G, what's going on, man? All right, I think Jason's ready now. He may be on. Jason, can we hear you?
Hey, let me check this camera. Something was up with it a second ago. Let me power it up. Hold on.
All right. Mike Wilkerson said we're gonna have to talk him off the ledge on this one. Listen, I got some thoughts on the game, man. I don't know if it had to go down like it went down, but hey, we'll figure it out. Hank is in the building. Had to pass out. Hey, man, it be like that sometimes, man. So who else we got in the building, man? All right, man. Listen, there's a lot of Alan Woody. What's going on, man? Hey, We'll get to it. He said our coaches, this team will forever be ones that lost to Kansas. Kansas with an exclamation point, man. Our reputation is shot for the remainder of the year, man. I expect more. I expect at least one more loss. Hey, hold the phones on that one, Alan. But we'll talk about it. All right, I think my man Jason is back with us. What's going on, Jason?
What's up? What's up, man?
Hey, man, nothing much, man. Hey, a lot of the Fanatic and Hall of Fame people already up in here. We got a lot of good college football to talk today, man. I know, I'm a Dog fan. Jason's an OU fan, so I know that's what a lot of the people want to talk about. So we'll save those to give those the necessary, the just due, so we don't rush through that. But while we got Stat Guy on the line, man, let's talk about South Carolina at Texas A&M, man. Stat, what happened?
Hey, man, we did what I thought we needed to do. Came out, got a couple stops, scored first to take the lead. And then after we scored to take the lead, it was like the dang wheels fell back off the bus. Xavier Legette played today, which I was shocked. He was definitely not 100%. And you could tell route running, couple drops, which have been uncharacteristic of him this year. So, the offense left much to be desired. And then, I said last week that I felt last week was the worst game Spencer had played all year. And he wouldn't let me make that comment true. He came out and played even worse today. So rough times in Columbia.
Well, listen, I will say this, man. Spencer didn't play good today, but I'm gonna tell you, man, when you don't have a lot of weapons and you don't have a lot of protection, man, it's kind of hard to get it. Mars gets in and say he thought you guys were gonna win, man. He was pulling for the Gamecocks, man. Listen, honestly, they started out, the defense was playing pretty decent. They were holding Texas A&M down, and then Texas A&M got loose for a couple, man. So, hey, those are the breaks, man. The thing is, you guys have to start now, looking to play spoiler, of course, what you was doing, but looking forward to next year too, man. So, hey, when it started getting, I don't know if you guys are going to play a team that you can blow out or that will blow you out. So I don't know if you will be able to get Lenore Sellers any time here soon. Maybe Jacksonville State. Hey, man, I want to say shout out Jason, man. The setup is dope, bro. I like it.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Listen, man. I'm trying to get like you, dog. I got a couple more, man. Like I said, I got a couple more things to add to my Earl Campbell jersey that I'm gonna put up. But yeah, man. So but yeah, man, Stat. Hey, it is what it is, dog. At least you can take solace in that the rivalry up the street took a L too. That's right. Clemson took a loss to North Carolina State at North Carolina State, man. They got 4 losses. So, when is the last year Clemson had 4 losses in one season? Stat
what
guy.
they've won 10 straight for like 11 or 12 straight years. Probably like 2011, 2012, somewhere in there. This is the first time they've lost back-to-back games in the same season since 2011, and the first time they've lost back-to-back ACC games since 2010.
Mars Jam said 12 years ago. Listen, I know Clemson fans are, reeling. I'm pretty sure once I get on Twitter or the X, whatever we're calling, they're going to be all over the place. But if you can go 12 years without losing 4 games, that's still good. But this season, it just ain't there. Bishop Frank in the house. What's going on, Bishop?
Bishop Frank.
Yep. Coach, I did call it. You did, Mike. You told us we was going to beat the Gators to sleep. We grilled them Gators up something serious, man. We definitely going to talk about that one too. Right now, Ohio State is up 24-10. It's looking like they're going to close this one out, man. I've been watching this game, man. Wisconsin's defense has played good tonight. They got a number 2 cornerback. I don't know what his name is, but he played good. Seawalk getting in the building, man. He's like, I'm out of the house today, but dang, he's like, time for Clemson to hit that stop button, blow it up like 2010. Hey, Seawalk, man, y'all had a rough one up there in Raleigh, man. And honestly, it don't get any easier next week with Notre Dame coming into the building. Gosh, that's gonna be a tough one right there, man. So, all right, I'll let the comments decide which one we're gonna talk about first. All right, people in the comments, you want to talk Georgia first, or you want to talk OU first? Which one you guys want to talk about?
And
So,
Coach, while you waiting on them to decide, I will let you know the one good thing that came out of today's game. We did see Nick Harbor with 6 receptions, over 50 yards receiving. So kind of becoming kind of showing up in the offense a little bit, a couple third down catches for him. So that was the one bright spot out of the day, was him finally getting involved as a real weapon in the offense.
okay, yeah, hey, I noticed that. I saw that earlier today. I said, well, hey, listen, there's no time like the present to get this guy involved, man. So
he's a stud, man. They ought to be playing him more and getting him involved for sure, man.
well, I'm pretty sure he's probably had some just to think about his past or and what he did in high school. He had little to no experience at wide receivers, so he's probably had some time trying to.
This is the defensive end talent, right?
Yeah, that's we still holding out hope. You know what I'm saying? We still holding out hope. Me and Stat, at least. I don't know about the rest of the Gamecock fans or whatever, but me and Stat and Thad, we kind of shouted, we kind of holding out hope that he has a mediocre track season and realizes he needs to be on the defensive side of the ball. We're trying to get this dude in the top 10 of the draft in 3 years. So we'll see about that one. All right, man. The comments have spoken. Look like the majority say let's save the bad for last. We'll go ahead and talk about the Georgia Bulldogs, man. The Georgia Bulldogs, man, are listen.
On some gator today. Woo.
Listen, man. We had all kinds of people, not these people, not the people in here. You know what I'm saying? Not Jason, not me, not Stat. Yeah, not the Mafia, not the Fanatic fans, man, but the talking heads, the media heads, they because we haven't looked like we looked in 2021 and 2022, dominant, that is. There's oh man, listen, Florida's 5-2 and all of this and all of that. And what I said was the Gators played 2 physical teams before us, Utah and Kentucky, and they lost both of those games. They did beat Tennessee. I'm not saying that wasn't a good win, but that was in the swamp. And Tennessee at that time, I really just don't feel like they were that good. My man Wallace getting in. What's going on, Wallace? My mouse stopped tripping on me. He said, "What's going on, fellas? Got that beat down. The old train just keep rolling." That's right, man. I told you, man. Sometimes you just need a little disrespect. So with that win, I'm still hoping the CFP that comes out Tuesday. I'm hoping that they put Michigan 1. We need a little bit more disrespect going forward. So Mars, I gotta listen. I don't know if y'all had y'all volume up on the OU game, but when we get there, I want to tell you about this one right here, Mars. So the Dogs came out. Listen, Florida came out scripted, and I told you I'm never worried about the first drive because everybody's script looks good on the first drive for the most part. They scored fast and quick, you know, hitting a lot of check downs, and then Dalen Everett got beaten for a slant route across the middle, gave up a touchdown. But after that, it was all Dogs all day. Everybody wondered what we were going to look like against, you know, without Brock Bowers. It just means that that's giving chance for, you know, everybody else to step
Spread
up.
We
got
a little bit now.
You know what I'm saying?
Even better.
Exactly. And this is the thing, you know, we still want Brock to come back healthy, and we hope he can be back for the SEC championship should we make it. But I said on the Respect the Hedges, like, it gives the defensive coordinators a new job that they're not used to. They're used to coming into the game preparing for Brock. You know what I'm saying? Which, not for nothing, we go to him, you know, probably 30% of the time on the passes. But now just like, who do you try to double cover? Nobody. And it's like, what's going on, Anthony? My guy Anthony White getting in the building. John Russell is in the building. We'll get to your comment, John, here. Yeah, it does suck the way they lost, but it's only one game. Exactly. Shawty say we won all 3 phases of the game. That's why we look so dominant. That's true. We were good in special teams. We were good on offense. We were good on defense. We played complimentary football. Jason, I know you caught some of that game, man. What was your thoughts?
Yeah, they looked like the Georgia you've been expecting to see all year. You know, and in no time like the cocktail party to get going like that. But yeah, I know we kind of talked about that whenever Brock went down, that I just kind of felt like I was like, yeah, but you haven't seen anybody else really step up yet. So I mean, and it seems like he was a security blanket You know, so when it kind of forces your quarterback to have to look other places, that kind of sometimes it'll kind of open up everything else a little bit. I just kind of saw this coming. Their running game's been good. They've been passing the ball. I mean, it's just they haven't, they've had a couple of games where they didn't completely get up for the opponent. But I'll tell you, after the Kentucky game, you knew what was coming.
You know what I'm saying, Jason? You know, like it's like if you had any doubts, you know what I'm saying?
They thinking everybody in the country was like, "Oh, this might be their week." You know, it's I was like, "Yeah, right. They're gonna out Georgia. That makes sense."
Yeah. So I think you're right, man. I think, like having Brock on the field sometimes for the quarterback, it's just the easiest, why not take the easiest path to victory?
Dude, man. Yeah,
he's that guy. You know what I'm saying? And even for the offensive coordinator, a lot of times plays are drawn up for Brock, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes you can go to the well a little bit too much. You see it with Ohio State sometimes. I mean, sometimes they want to force feed that ball to Marvin when they have other weapons out there. And it's like, what we've seen from Georgia today is even when Brock goes down, it's not like we're gonna have problems spreading the ball around. Lad McConkey still suits up for the Dogs, you know what I'm saying? And so you know what I'm saying? And Ra only had one catch today, but he's out there. You got Dominic Levitt with like 5-6 catches for like 80 something yards.
led the SEC in receiving last year, didn't he?
I know, like definitely receptions for sure. So that's what I'm saying, man. It's like we got guys out there, man. So shout out to the Dogs, man. Listen, I always do a thing on Facebook where dogs win, dogs drink. Hey, man, world's largest outdoor cocktail party. We in here, baby. We eating gator meat and drinking up. You know,
some fried gator and drinking tequila.
That's right. That's right. Stat, what you think about the cocktail party, dog?
Man, look, for anybody that didn't watch it, just go look at the highlight of the hit by Bolick, and that'll show you how the game went down for him. Because like it was like after that hit, you knew. I mean, Florida's probably out of it before then, but you knew after that it was lights out.
Big facts, man. Big facts. We got another guy joining, man. Coach, you ready to come on with us? Coach, you in here with us? We can't see you, Coach.
I'm hiding.
He got his camera way the hell up
there. There you go. What's going on, Coach Roy Ball? What's going on, man? Got that Notre Dame jersey. I like it.
The Irish today.
That's right, man. Hey, listen, we just wrapping up the Georgia-Florida cocktail party talk, man, and then we'll jump.
I'll put it on the Gators, buddy.
Hey, man, listen, we look good out there. And, like we were saying, man, everybody was like, oh, what they're going to do without Brock? What are we going to do? Like, even before Brock went down, we had 11 players with at least 10 receptions. So it just opened up the window for more people to get receptions. And Lad McConkey's, getting healthy, things of that nature. Wallace says, I tried to tell people we was going to be all right without Brock. That's right. Like, we want Brock. Like, don't get it wrong. We're a different team. We got Brock, but we still good when we don't have Brock. Not for nothing. We lost George Pickens at the beginning of the season in 2021. AD Mitchell went down after the Oregon game in 2022. Both our top passing threats. And this year, hey, you just got to figure out a way to get it done, right, Coach?
People that
just part of the game, man. Just part of the game.
The people that didn't know y'all just reloaded at all those positions.
The defense came to play. Also, shout out to my fellow South Carolinian, Tyrion Egram Dawkins was back in the lineup on that D line. He looked good today. Marvin Jones looked good today. Bobo was in his play calling bag today. That's right, he was. Hey, he was doing, man. Hey, Nathan say, what's up, Coach? Mars said, what's up, Coach? Mike say, what's up, Coach? All right, man, we're going to move from the cocktail party into Notre Dame. You know what I'm saying? Mars has said it a couple of times, man. Notre Dame, listen, man, they beat the snot out of Pitt. It's like, I don't know what Pitt did, y'all leading up to
shit out of Pitt.
Well, I tell you what, the first half, we drove the ball down and Hartman threw a couple of picks and, we didn't look real solid in the first half, but, second half, they came out and really played well.
I know, man. Somebody's got to check out.
Coach always comes up with the negative first to give you, no matter if you beat the brakes off of him or whatever when he was coaching. He'd always do that first. He'd come up and be like, "How happy are you?" Blah, blah. Well, we didn't play very good to start off with, but
But they didn't. They really didn't, guys. I mean, if you watched any of, but the first half it was 17-0. With those 2 picks. I mean, we're in the red zone like 3 times and don't come away with any points. But Hartman hadn't looked very good, guys. Since the Louisville game, he's been struggling. He's been struggling. But our defense has been keeping us in the ball games and special teams. Watts, guys, that gum Watts is going crazy back there in the secondary, picking balls off. I mean, I think he's got 6. Matter of fact, I think he's leading the nation right now in picks.
Yeah, man. Hey, like he's saying here, the defense, Indy's defense is insanely good. It is very good. Keep chopping in here. Say completely broke Pitt. Doozy called out his players, and they are firing shots back. Oh man, that's crazy. Hey, Stat, I know you watching the game, man. Before we let you get up out of here, man, what you think about that Notre Dame game?
Yeah, I mean, little rough start, but they turned the gas on in the second half and made a statement. And, for Notre Dame, I mean, you look what they have next week. I mean, they have to be licking their chops of getting to go down to Death Valley with having Clemson reeling the way they are. I mean, you're looking at potentially being able to do this back-to-back week to ACC opponents. So, but Notre Dame looked like one of the best teams in the country tonight.
That's for sure, man, for sure. So, hey, Stat, if you need to drop off, that's fine, man. We got you.
Have a good show.
All right, man.
All right, peace.
Yeah, so listen, man, shout out to Notre Dame. Notre Dame still continues to look physical at the point of attack. I've been saying that all year, man, and I think that's what a lot of these teams can't handle, man, on both sides of the ball, offensive line, defensive line, just physical at the point of attack, and it is killing people, and it's setting up to be. Hey, I'm not talking about, the chicken before the chicken before the egg or whatever it is. It's like, but Clemson don't look like they can handle that physicality on offense. So, listen, I don't know what the spread going to be, but I'm pretty sure Notre Dame is going to be favored by about 12-14 in Clemson. I wouldn't be surprised.
I think Clemson looked anything close to this in such a long time. I mean,
bro, it's been so long since we've seen Clemson look this bad. You know what I'm saying? Like North Carolina State's offense is bad, to be honest with you. Their defense is good, but their offense is bad. And they still were able to, beat Clemson, in Raleigh. So it don't get no easier. Again, they got Notre Dame, they got South Carolina. I'm trying to think who their other game is, but I think they're they got to play North Carolina. So North Carolina is leading Georgia Tech right now, 42-32. North Carolina just leaves the defense at home, I guess, sometimes when they get in there. One to keep the eye, right before we're going to get into this OU game, but one to keep your eye on, James Madison is in the Fanatic top 25, top 10. They are currently up 30-24 on Old Dominion at the start of the fourth quarter. So we'll see what that has. All right, Shawty says, has Dabo lost the locker room? On offense, man, I like the defense is kind of trying to hold it together, but I could be. What you think, Jason? Has he lost the locker room?
I think he has. I think he's lost the control of the team is what it is. I don't know about the locker room itself. I think that, they have a pretty good culture there, so I don't know that it's that. But listen, when you're not putting it together and you continue to you're blaming it on quarterbacks, which he's been doing that crap. I mean, last week you heard a lot of that about, Cade pulling the ball out or whatever. Maybe he shouldn't have done it. But I got to tell you, this is the same stuff that we've seen and heard from him over the last couple of years with DJ and the same deal. You know what I mean? And so here DJ goes across the country and all of a sudden, he's played he's probably played himself back into the first couple of days of the draft.
Exactly.
So to me, it's just one of them deals where I feel like you've got to look at it in terms of he's so stubborn about the transfer portal. He's so stubborn about the NIL structure and the way that they've got it set up, that they're not even going to talk about it or anything like that. I mean, they don't even use it. I mean, look, I get it that you don't really want to talk about NIL stuff, but it's got to be in your pitch, man, whenever you're trying to get guys. And they're still picking up good players. Don't get me wrong. When you got Westco and you've got Sammy Brown coming in, you know they're going to still be – they've got talent coming.
Yeah.
But how long are you going to keep them? Because if you're not going to use the portal, how many of these guys are going to hang around?
Yeah.
And you know, now Cade's going to get beat up for the next 2 years. Why would he stay for that?
That's the thing. So one of my Clemson friends said, is it time for Cade to hit the portal? Sometimes I tell Stat all the time, sometimes guys just seem like Clemson guys. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know, Cade seems like kind of like a Clemson guy. Like Shipley seems like a Clemson guy.
So did DJ until they started eating his lunch.
That's what I was about to say. But hey, until the rubber meets the road, bro. And Coach, you've been a part of a lot of winning teams, man. Like when you go from winning at that high extreme level to now you meet, like you didn't even go down to, you went from elite to mediocre. You didn't even, you just fell all through good and above average. Like, what does that do? What does that do? What does that do to a locker room, Coach?
Oh, you know, guys, you know, we all know this, you know, the players' mentality. I mean, when you have a winning program, and like you said, Coach, not just a winning program, but an elite.
Mm-hmm.
They were one of the elite programs in the country. And they've been in a free fall now. And you know, guys, I don't care who you are, what program you're with, it doesn't matter. When you go into a free fall like that and you can't stop it, it starts bringing up lots of questions and lots of finger pointing, and you know, the coaches this, and the coaches start saying, well, the players this, and next thing you know, guys, that culture just completely tears apart, and it tears you up from within the organization, and golly, that's a killer. And
Oklahoma dealt with it last year. Oklahoma dealt with it seriously last year. When you go 6-7 and you've been winning 10 games every year for, you know, I mean, no matter why it was, you know, there's a lot of people that are going to drink that Kool-Aid and tell you how good you are. And then all of a sudden it comes apart and they're blaming it. I mean, it was Lincoln's mess, but that didn't mean a lot of people weren't eating Brent Venables alive for it.
Big facts, big facts. It's same thing happened in Florida State until, you know, Mike Norvell's got together, because, you know, not for nothing, Jimbo left that in a crapshoot. You know what I'm saying? So
Jimbo, what a great guy.
Listen, man, what am I? Listen, we can have a whole show about that dude, but yeah, man, like Clemson again, man, they're at like right here. Stat guy says, you know, Georgia Tech has looked better, you know, the past couple of weeks, and right now they're in the battle. Right now, actually, they just scored. It's 42-39. You know, North Carolina's got the ball. So Clemson has Notre Dame next week. They still got North Carolina. They got Georgia Tech. They got South Carolina. Like, are we looking at a losing season for? Right? Are we looking at a losing season for Clemson?
I think it's very possible, guys.
Yeah.
Ooh. That's tough right there, bro.
The thing is at what point do you not start letting Garrett run his offense? Because I mean, all this is Clemson's offense stuff. It ain't working.
That's what I was telling Stat. I was like, this is all, I know we can pick out players that haven't played good, but this is, to me, it's all on the coaches.
Yeah.
That what you just said, like if that's, you know, we heard the whole Garrett's running Clemson's offense. Like, bro, like why pay the guy as the top paid coordinator in college football, but to not let him run his offense if that's true? Also, like I heard some Clemson fans last week on the radio here in South Carolina say, hey man, some of these ranking services might have got it wrong. No, your coaches got it wrong. Stop falling for the stars. Don't coaches always tell us, oh, we don't look at stars. We don't look at stars. Well, that means your evaluation process is terrible.
Something's wrong. Something's very wrong right now. Yeah.
Because either you are falling for the stars or you're not great at evaluating. And then on top of that, you know, you're not developing these guys. When they come in, listen, I get it. Let's say that the recruiting service got it wrong and he really wasn't a 4-star. Just because he was a 3 or a 2-star, you still got to develop the guy once he gets on campus.
Absolutely.
And that's not happening. Like to me, Bo Collins came in very heralded, but he hasn't moved an inch as far as getting better. And that's one of their problems. Not Bo Collins particularly, but not having weapons on the outside. You know what I'm saying? That's horrible. Then you got Will Shipley can't get it done inside the 10-yard
Boy,
line.
Shipley has looked awful, guys. I mean,
They've been saying all year they should be going with that freshman. He's a better running back.
Well, this is the thing, man. Maffa is the inside when it's come to tough yards. Maffa's a bigger back. He's a more physical back. He's a better in between the tackles runner. And I get that coaches want to lean on their guys, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes as a good coach, you got to be like, bro, this ain't your time right here. Like as good as Dejon Edwards did for Georgia today, when it was time to get tough, hard yards, when they knew he was gonna run, Kendall Milton. We bring in the horse, you know what I'm saying? Because they don't want to tackle that guy. You not bench him, but you put him, hey man, next player be yours, dog. Right now, it's Kendall Milton time. And that's what they should do when they get down there, you know, in the red zone and things of that nature. And then Cade, I just don't see any progress with Cade. And we've seen a lot of, you know, quarterbacks over our time at different schools that didn't get the proper coaching. They came out really ranked high. You know, that dude was a 5-star coming out, you know, out of Texas. And Texas plays some good ball. You know, that's saying a lot. You're a 5-star from Texas and you don't get no, you know, development. So they got to right the ship, man. So Coach I, what's the score? So UCLA is 28-16. Colorado apparently scored. Oregon State's up 7-0 on Arizona. This is the games I got on. I got the weather on one game. Apparently Ohio State won that square. And
Oregon State's up.
Yeah, Oregon State's up 7-0. Let me see what else is on. I had the Georgia Tech. Let's see what that. O State. The O State. I need the O State. Georgia Tech has the ball 42-39. Old Dominion has the ball down 30-24. Who else is still playing? Oklahoma State looks like they're definitely going to pull it out. They're up 31-7 over Cincy. Listen, leading into our next game, we're definitely going to talk about it, the OU game. But this leads to a very interesting Bedlam. I still think OU's the better team, but both teams will have only one loss in league play. So whoever wins the game next Saturday will have, you know, the upper hand on the other team. So let's go ahead and talk about OU losing to Kansas in the upset today in a rainy Kansas. It actually started raining earlier than they said it was. It wasn't pouring down, but it was steady. And the two things I think were an issue. I'm not saying it caused the loss, but the two things I believe were an issue is the rain causes you not to be as athletic. You're way more athletic than Kansas. It took away your athleticism. On top of that, for 2 straight weeks now, we've seen OU miss a lot of tackles, bro. Like, like one-on-one, you got to be able to bring these guys down, man. And those are the difference between 6 yards and a 2-yard loss. You know what I'm saying? So those are the two biggest blaring things that I saw today. We'll let Coach jump in here and go, and then Jason, we'll let you get in here, and then we'll look at some of the comments. What did you think of the OU game today, Coach?
Well, you know, again, I would agree with you there that I believe that the rain did affect the ball game. Again, you know, I know they both, you'll have people who say, well, they both had to play in the rain. But when you've got a team that's more athletic, and I've been in that situation before. I know at Skyline we had some great athletes, and we play somebody in bad conditions, and that's such an equalizer.
It is. It is.
It truly is. You know, but I tell you what, I really struggled with is if that's the equalizer, quit trying to get the ball on the perimeter and mash it down their throats.
And
you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that. So that confused the hell out of me.
And Jason mentioned earlier this season how, you know, it was like the run game wasn't where it needed to be. And in a game like this, you need to have a run game because of that. Like you say, like stop trying to go to the outside because you're not going to be able to just beat them like that because of the weather. You can't get your footing. And it's one of the reasons, and I'm not making an excuse for Ohio State, but it's one of the reasons why Ohio State struggles. You know what I'm saying? In in bad weather. It's because they are so much they rely so much on their athleticism, and today that actually came back to hurt OU. All right, Jason. Now before I let you go, man, some people want me to talk about Lebby. Listen, I don't think Lebby called it. So I don't think Lebby called a great game today. I don't think though that you. I saw somebody earlier, and I'm sorry I didn't put up the comment. They said that Ole Miss fans tried to tell us. I still think Lebby's a good coordinator. I mean, he definitely had a bad game, like Coach said. He should have relied more. Even, bro, sometimes even if you're not gaining yards, you still run the ball to take time off the clock. That's, you know what I'm saying? So, but go ahead, Jason. Floor is yours, my man.
So here's the deal. They were still running the football well. You had Tawee Walker had 23 carries, 146 yards, and those were between the tackles, hard running yards. And you're putting freaking wide receivers in the backfield. And that jet sweep, man, they have run that damn play almost every game since they got there. They know what you're running now. They know that that's coming. At least if you're gonna make it look like that, do something else. Make it look like the jet sweep and run something else off of it. They don't even change the formation for it that much.
Well, you need to have a series off of the jet sweep. I mean, you don't just run the jet sweep and that's it. You ought to be able to bootleg out of it. You ought to be able to. I mean, there's many things you can do. You can run that same fake when you're faking the jet sweep. Then you can still come back and throw to that guy.
Right.
There's a lot of things you can do, but they're not doing that. And like you said, Jason, people know what they're fixing to run, and hell, they're stopping
it's just like he's afraid to use the guys that he's got, and I don't understand what it is. I don't know if there's a problem going on with DeMarco and some of his running backs or what, but like Tawee didn't play last week because of gotten into an argument with them or something apparently. You're starting to wonder what's up with Barnes. But, I mean, look at this. When you look at – you had two receivers in – you had Farouk and Gavin Freeman, who they had 11 carries between them. But Barnes only had 5, and then Sawchuk only had 6. And these are guys that you're waiting to kind of see what they're going to do. Tawee got his 23, but, I mean – good grief. There's just some weird ways that they're, you got to be able to pick up a first down there at the end. When you get that interception, then of course, you got to expect Key Lawrence to make that other interception that's right in his hands too.
Oh my God. It him right in the palm, bro.
Listen, brother, there's a couple of plays you would like to have back on defense. And I think they did miss some tackles, but generally speaking, the defense got put in bad positions. You had 3 turnovers and one was a pick 6, and you had 2 other ones that were inside OU territory, gave them prime field position. It seemed like, but you go down there and you get that touchdown to go ahead. They go for 2 there. I understood why they did, because you got to try to make it a 3-point lead, of course. Yeah. But then to not get that stop down there, and then be able, well, when you do get the stop, then you don't make a first down there. You have another penalty. That was another problem. 11 penalties on the day, over 100 yards in penalties. They doubled them up on that. There were people talking about the refs being bad. That's not what it was. There's some undisciplined problems going on at OU. We talked about it last week. We talked about it at the Red River game that, had a guy get away with one, when he was down in Quinn Ewer's face. The next week they get it. Knack gets it, or the last week. And then this week you've got some more where Reggie Pearson, this is his 6th freaking year in college football, and he doesn't know you don't hit a guy when he's sliding. That was down on the goal line.
That's crazy.
You cannot touch that guy. That's not a hard rule to understand.
Bruh, exactly. And Bean played a hell of a game, man, but that was a bad decision by Bean, and he the OU player actually let him off the hook for it by doing that, because if he doesn't do that, then the ball's on the 1-yard line and it's 4th down. Like, what are you doing? You just gave him a whole new set of downs. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can, and not for nothing, we'll talk about it later, but he's gone for the first half of the Bedlam. So I'm like, bro, you can't do that.
Well, that to me, that means you need more Peyton Bowen. I say put him in. It's time for him to play anyway. They haven't been playing him enough. You know, it's just something that I want to see more of him anyway, because when he's in the game, good things happen. And it's more and more with Pearson, you have undisciplined play, stuff like that. It's just, Shawty, come on, man. Would you, when you put the Dogs, when you guys put them in a bad position, did you just expect them to not score ever? You know what I mean? At some point, that's part of playing complementary football.
Yeah. The Oklahoma State game, Nathan. I forget. It was 6 minutes last time I checked. It was 31-7. They are definitely winning this game tonight. I don't know how much time right now. They're on commercial, so I'll tell you when they come back. We had 2 questions I wanted to get to. I want to say it was Bloody Guns made a statement like, how many touches did Anderson get, wide receiver Anderson? I don't think he had a lot of targets.
He didn't have a ton. He let's see, I can tell you right here, but he only had 1 catch. He only had 1 target.
I was about to say he didn't have a lot of targets.
18-yard catch, 1 target. You know, I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. And that's the whole thing. But you only saw Dylan throw 19 passes. This is the least amount. But again, you don't, when you're playing with the talent, you have the bigger guys. And here's the thing. The one thing I would say about the offensive line is you've had some issues with injuries and just uneven play. They've moved a lot of guys around that, you know, to me, I don't understand why you would want to do stuff where you got to make it harder on guys that are out of position on, you know, they're maybe not used to pulling and stuff for those jet sweeps and things like that. Run the zone and freaking run it through the tackles, man. And it was working. They had their best rushing game of the year today.
Well, and that was my whole point, Jason, is
300 yards.
That
why not just
and that was my whole point in saying that earlier. Run it right at them, because y'all were having success with that. They never stopped y'all when y'all ran it between the tackles and run it right at them. They didn't stop you.
And this
y'all
right here
stopped yourselves.
Yeah, and this right here by Mike, I was wondering the same thing. Right before half, you got 50 seconds, 3 timeouts. You don't try to score. Is that because we scared going to turn the ball over? But I mean, bro, 3 timeouts? Like, you got to at least try to advance the ball, baby. Bro. That's a lot of time with 3 timeouts, man. So
with 3 timeouts, that's like, you know, you just run your 2-minute O right there.
Yeah. So let's see. Mara said he saw Anderson, you know, wide open at least 6 times. Listen, I don't know. Somebody asked, I want to say it was the Alabama guy. Listen, man, I'm gonna just call you C-Tide because I don't know what all the things in the middle mean. But he asked, what does this do for Dylan Gabriel's Heisman chances?
Dylan balled out, though. That was the thing about him. He had 3 rushing touchdowns. That last one at the end, you know, that kid hit him, that linebacker hit him in the hole, and he drug him into the end zone. You know, he stepped up and played when he needed to. You didn't have guys making plays anywhere else, really, but him and Tariq played. I don't know. I didn't think he was going to win the Heisman unless they went undefeated anyway. I mean, there's just too many guys playing too good of football that I didn't really think that was what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And, you know, hey,
shout out to our guy, JJ Kitchen, man. He said, hell of a game, coach. Notre Dame play. He said we play like crap. JJ, man, I got to get you on, man. I need to know what's going on, you know, for Pitt, man. I don't know what we're doing here, man. It's like, again, I definitely didn't see 2 and what is it? Your guys are 2-6 now. So, but listen, man, I saw some people, man. Listen, man, it's one game. And I know it's kind of like the Colorado situation. I told somebody, it's like once Colorado came, like nobody expected anything from Colorado before the season. But once they came out and beat TCU, won a couple games, gave USC a scare, the goalpost move. And it's the same thing with OU. It's like, I don't think anybody thought OU was winning the Natty coming into the season. But once you go 6-0, you go 7-0, you know what I'm saying? Now people start moving the goalposts in their head. And then when they have the loss, oh God, what we gonna do? It's like,
I mean, you know, and K Chris, you know, but he's calling for Levy's head, and a lot of people are right now, and there definitely needs to be some changes with. He tries to get awfully cute in a lot of this stuff, but
Yeah.
I got to tell you, to me, the part of that also has to do with. I mean, hey, Venables is wearing a headset. You could tell him you don't have to freaking be so. I'm about sick of seeing receivers running the ball.
That's true.
Well,
That's true. I mean, he's the head man.
And Jason, you and I talked about this a little bit, but at the end of the day, we all know this: the head coach is accountable for everything that goes on in that program. When
True.
things are good, it's the head coach. When things are bad, it's the head coach.
The head coach.
And the bottom line, we can talk about Levy. People have been bashing him all year long, and people have been defending him all year long. But the bottom line is Venables this weekend needs to bring his ass in, set him down, and say, "Look, we need to come. We need to come to a common ground here. I'm tired of seeing this shit. I'm tired of seeing that. We need to. This is what I want done. And if you can't get it done, then we're gonna have a problem. But it's got to happen."
And a lot of times I think as a head coach, being in that position myself, and coach knows, sometimes during the game, you kind of don't want to so-called check your OC or your assistant coach because you don't want to cut his feet off and under him. You want to see if because you paid him to do a job and you want him to do the job, because if I got to do your job for you, why am I paying you? But I get where you come from, Jason. At some point you got to be like, look, yo, hey, stop passing the ball. Let's just stick to the run, dog.
When it wasn't even with the pass, it's just the way that they were running it. When it's working through the tackles, it's just, and he's been doing that a lot. To me, I felt like there were some shots that they didn't take, and and that all goes with what he's doing. I love what Bishop Frank said. You have to have a test to have a testimony. It's time.
That's what I'm saying.
You are going to get tested, and this is something we talked about. Look, somebody else said in there the floor was 10-2 is what we felt like was,
which is
9-3, 10-2, which is absolutely still doable.
I said 10-2, before the season. You just didn't know where those two was coming from. I get it. I told Stat Guy the same thing. It's just that when it happens, it's still like, God, we were so close, man.
And once the goalposts did move when you beat Texas and really look. The rest of that league can say what they want. And yes, they lost to Kansas today, and hats off to Kansas. I'm not even talking shit about Kansas. I think Lance Leipold's a hell of a coach. I don't think they should have won the football game.
Bean balled out. I didn't know that dude was that fast. I did not know that dude was that fast, dog. Like that dude.
When he hit that sideline, I knew he was gone because he does have that straight line speed.
That's crazy.
Bottom line is you got to find a way to win that game. They were up, and you got to find a way to get a stop there at the end too. But my thing was, I mean, you had it. You had the interception in your hands. You give up a 4th down and a long 3rd down. There's still a few things once they lost Danny Stutzman, but guys like Kip Lewis had a heck of a game. I think Kanak was struggling. There's some things that need to be cleaned up. But a lot of it, I feel like, is discipline right now. And this is the kind of things that you're going to have little leftover things for a couple of years after you've had a coach and a culture like the one that they have at USC right now. They almost lost tonight to freaking Oregon State. Cal. Sorry.
Cal.
49 is the final there. They had to win. They had to put up 50.
We're going to talk about that last drive for Cal as well in a minute. What's going on, Adela? She says hi, everyone.
Hey, Adela.
Listen, man. Go ahead, Coach.
No, I was just going to say, guys, the season, all is not lost in this one loss. There's still a lot of season ahead of us, or ahead of Oklahoma. And I tell you what, guys, here's the bottom line. How do they respond? That's the big question, because they haven't been here this year with a loss. Now they got a loss, and that leaves a sour taste in your mouth. But how do you respond to that loss? And then coming in, guys, I know OSU's not as good as OU. We all know that. But guys, when you throw this into the mix of being the last rivalry game between the two schools, a lot of crazy shit can happen. So OU's got to respond.
That's right, man. And we're going to touch on that here in a moment. Let me just give some score updates quick, Jason. UCLA beat Colorado 28-16. Colorado covers the 17.5 spread. Ole Miss blast Vandy 33-7. Ohio State finished off Wisconsin 24-10. Tennessee beat Kentucky 33-27. Washington survives Stafford 2 weeks in a row. Washington barely wins 42-33. Like we said, USC survives Cal. The Oklahoma State game was 4 minutes to go, Nathan. Last time I checked, Oklahoma State was still up. Somebody gave you a super chat, Jason. Oh, here we go.
Nelio. So Nelio, appreciate that. Nelio.
What's going on, Nelio? That's
Thank
right.
you.
Shout out Nelio. I say good Saturday evening, fellas. Keep up the great work. Thanks for entertaining. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. Oklahoma State.
Yeah. Go ahead, buddy. Go ahead.
Oklahoma State is like I said, they was winning. It was 4 minutes left last time I checked, Nathan. Georgia Tech has taken the lead on North Carolina. 242 on that Oklahoma State game.
242 in Oklahoma State, and it's 44-13.
And this is a game right here. I want to talk about this score and this game. First, let me tell you, James Madison is got 30. Old Dominion's 27. 7 minutes left. James Madison is not out of the clear. They are one of the undefeated G5 teams, so we're gonna keep an eye on that one. But this goes to Coach's point about how OU responds. Yeah. North Carolina, and me and Stat talked about this before we got on the live. When a lot of times when teams expect to win and they think they have a shot at either the conference championship or the national championship, everybody thinks we lost, the next team's gonna catch it. We're gonna be angry. But on average, I was about on average, because though in their players' mind, like, oh, we just lost, dog. Everything's out the window. What you know what I'm saying? It's like you have a letdown. North Carolina just lost to UVA last week. They thought they was in it. You know what I'm saying? They thought they was in it. And they came out, and now Georgia Tech's about to, I ain't gonna say they won't beat them, but it's 2 minutes and 54 seconds left, and Georgia Tech's up 46-42. It's like they came out flat.
You need a touchdown.
And it's like you want to see how they're gonna respond, but OK State, they riding high. You know what I'm saying? They riding high. They just, the guys back in the building actually coaching now. You know what I'm saying? They got their running back is leading the FBS the last 4 weeks in rushing. I forget what his name is, but that guy, he's pretty good, man. God, what is that dude's name? But he run the hell out of the ball. He's coming into the day, he was averaging 176 yards a game in the last 4 weeks. So that's what I'm saying. So Bishop Frank says Ali versus Frazier, to be the champ, one has to be willing to go through the fire to win. That's right. It's a championship mindset, man. And it's how you respond. That's what, again, OU is the better team when we're talking about OU, OK State. But the better team doesn't always win the game. It's that mindset. Are they going to be?
They're going to next week. I'm not hearing it.
Thank you, Hank, and thank you, Nathan. Ollie Gordon, man. Ollie Gordon is a monster, bro. Like that's all I'm saying. He's a monster. And this dude is on his thing.
271 yards today, guys, and 2 touchdowns on 25 carries.
Stop lying, Coach. 271.
271. 25 carries.
He's leading the FBS the last 5 weeks, counting today, and it's not even close. Not even close. So that's now OU is great against the run. So that's what's going to be the matchup. And I know Jason's going to talk a lot about that, next week. But that's the thing is how do you respond? Okay, the loss is over.
Yeah,
how do you respond?
I'm on to OK State too. I mean, we're not going to spend all week talking about this last game losing it.
And that's what you. That's
what bedroom. It's time to. They need to do the same thing.
And you're exactly right, Jason. If you focus, especially now, I know the fans will, but if the team focuses on Kansas and that loss, then that's going to hurt them going into OK State. Like, look,
absolutely.
win or lose, you got 24 hours. That's what Kirby always said. You got 24 hours, bro. And then I don't want to hear nothing else about it. National championship or not, like 24 hours, bro. We out. Like, you know what I'm saying? So Shawty says not jumping the gun, just asking. Jason, you still feeling positive about the trajectory of the program?
The trajectory of the program was 9-10-2 coming in here, but losing to Oklahoma State,
if you lose, losing
to Oklahoma State would not make anybody happy. except for everybody in Stillwater. But you would still, I don't know. Yeah, it wouldn't be a good thing to happen. But I don't see it happening, man.
But I still think what we thought at the beginning of the year is still on the table. You see what I'm saying? So, like, I didn't think Oklahoma State would be one of those losses, but if it happens,
it's going to be in first. And that's the other thing. I'm not even going to entertain that first and foremost because it's not going to happen. Oklahoma State is freaking Okie light. They're not beating Oklahoma the last time for this game to go down for 10 or 15 years. It's not going down.
Neilio is right. You can't let one loss beat you in the other game. There's so many teams that do that, man. Like you lose one game, and then because you're thinking about that old game, you can't let that.
I'm not even gonna entertain it. They're gonna beat the brakes off of Okie Light next week. That's it.
Yeah. So listen, man, college football, and this is a thing too. We talked about us three and a couple of other people. We talked about what if all Power Fives go undefeated. We also said it's more realistic that all Power Five champions have one loss.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying the thing is realistically, numerically, statistically, however you want to spin it. OU's not out of the CFP talk. You know what I'm saying? Because Washington is, they skate. Listen, I did say that Washington had the best offense in the nation. I didn't know who can stop it, but they've been struggling the past 2 weeks. So if they keep that up, you know what I'm saying? If they still have to go to Wazoo, they keep that up, they're a one-loss team. You know what I'm saying? Michigan could go ahead.
That's like we said. That's like we said last week, Coach. I mean, this is the point of the season where it doesn't matter if you win by one. As long as you win,
you're right.
This is the stage in the season. Whether if you win by 1 point, you're in good shape. That's where it is.
That's right. Just to update, Oklahoma State is up 45-13, 15 seconds left. So, and somebody's hurt for Oklahoma State. He's having to be helped off the field by two people.
K-State lit up Houston today. They're finally starting to play good again.
Hey, and K-State, K-State's only got 2 losses, and one of those losses is outside of the conference. So we talked about this also earlier this year, man. The Big 12, and I think Nathan hit it on it. Nathan said that the Big 12 is the most competitive conference because anybody could be anybody from top to bottom, and it's starting to look kind of. You know what I'm saying? Listen, there's a lot of one-loss teams as far as one loss in the Big 12. You know what I'm saying? Mathematically, Texas, OU, Oklahoma State, Kansas State. Like Kansas has 2 losses in the Big 12, so they're kind of behind it. But that's what I'm saying, man. It's getting crazy out there, and I think the same thing is going to happen in the Pac-12. Just to be honest with you. I mean, Oregon went out to Utah and absolutely manhandled Utah. As much as I love Utah and Whittingham, they absolutely manhandled those dudes, dog.
Yeah, they did. They mashed them.
And if Oregon State wins tonight, they're a one-loss Pac-12 team. Oregon's a one-loss Pac-12 team. Now Utah has 2 losses in the Pac-12, but Washington has been teetering. But like Coach said, as long as they winning, that's all that matters. Just an update: Old Dominion has the ball. 4 minutes and 36 seconds left, and they're down by 3 to James Madison. Again, this is important for the G5s. Y'all know that. Listen, if James Madison want one of those New Year's 6 spots, they got to stay undefeated. Air Force is doing what they do. I think they were up like 14 or 21 earlier today. Another Big 12, Texas. BYU played, better than I thought they started out. When they first started out, they were like Texas was just kind of taking them to the woodshed. They had about sometime between second and third quarter, they kind of put together a decent game, but then Texas was just too much for them. They actually looked for AD Mitchell a lot more today. So, Jason, like Jason said, man, Malik Murphy looked a little bit. He did. I felt like they passed it a little bit more, like you said.
Listen, I mean, I think it's going to take him a little bit of time to kind of get it together. It's his first start, but I mean, they won big. So
hey, listen, he didn't look bad today on his passes. You know what I'm saying? I think he still got a little,
down either.
No, he wasn't. That's what I'm saying. He wasn't checking it down. He wasn't pulling the Jalen Milroe where he's only throwing it deep. He was throwing it around the yard, man. So I mean, he didn't have a lot of yards, but
That was
his
something
first.
talked about whenever he was on the show last week. He goes, everybody that thinks he was on Tuesday. He said everybody that thinks this guy is the freaking Vince Young, he's not. He's more of a Byron Leftwich type.
Yeah.
Big, throw it around. Jameis Winston. He's got a big arm. That's the big deal there. And I think that the longer that Quinnen isn't in the game, the less chance that he gets his spot back. You know what I mean? I've thought that. I think all season I've been saying that nobody in this conference wants to see Malik Murphy, and I'm sticking. I really, really hope that Quinn's ready to go pretty quick, because I'm telling you, the longer that he doesn't get in the game, I think it's going to be harder to get that job back.
That's true.
Quinn's going to be in the portal next year.
Hey, could definitely be. I can tell you like this: if what Jason says holds up, he will be in the portal. We've already seen that. Quinn ain't the guy. He's definitely in the portal. Shorty says Oregon's the best team in the Pac-12, even with a loss. I ain't even gonna disagree with you right there, Shorty. Because listen, man, outside, even in that Washington game where they lost at Washington on the road, they actually were up until I want to say 46 seconds left in the game. Yeah. So, hey, they're going to get their shot at Washington. As long as they keep winning, they're going to get another shot at Washington in the championship. And it may go different on the neutral field. They won't be in, Seattle for that game. That's right. Steve G says Stanford just showed Washington is the word. Listen, you're right. But who they play last week? Arizona State. Listen, that's 2 times in a row. But again, like Coach said, as long as you win, you good. You know what I'm saying? At this point,
100, man, 100. And that's and look, at this point, this is all you want. You want to get a win next week, period. And
you got to.
In the Bedlam game, it'd be great to go out there and beat the brakes off of them. As I said, beat the shit out of them. Get yourself some momentum moving forward.
I think because you guys are so young in the Venables era, I think next week, not for the longevity of the season, what we said 10-2 floor, 11-1 or whatever, but for their mentality, I feel like next week is a must win. Because they could, because some of these kids have transferred in, and some of them are OU guys, but they're not like, some of these kids aren't used to the high level of winning. And if you take a loss there, then it may hurt some of their, confidence or whatever. So I think when
your confidence is high and you're winning, it's one thing, but it's hard to kind of, I'm with you on the probability of letdowns when you do lose one.
Yeah, especially again, I definitely feel like OU is the better team. USC escapes again. Coach, now me and Stat always we always debate about this. Stat guy say if you're on the road and it comes down to it and you can win or tie, if you're on the road, you always go for the win, go for 2. But Cal was at home, and it was shown all day that USC couldn't stop them. I think they should have kicked the field goal to go into overtime. What do you think?
I would have gone for the field goal.
I'm at home, and you can't stop me. Why would I? Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
Jason, what you think?
I mean, yeah, you're at home. I don't know why you didn't. But It's at the point now with USC that you just don't know what the hell is going to happen.
And it was on the Pac-12 network, and I don't have the Pac-12 network, so I'm like, how is Cal keeping up with USC?
So did you see that Lincoln? Here's why: because it's excuses. Like, here's the thing: you as Oklahoma fans, we can't sit here and make excuses for what happened today. They lost, and for all intents and purposes, look. Lincoln freaking threw accusation of them stealing signs last week from Utah. That's how far down the freaking rabbit hole this dude is.
Oh my God.
You're going to use that as why you got beat. Shut up, Lincoln. Shut up.
Well, we've seen, Lincoln, uses, he's kind of like, so when he loses these games, it kind of checks out. It's never like, hey, I caught a bad plan, I made a bad call or whatever, or if it's too close that we need to get better, you can tell the difference. Just an update, man. Apparently North Carolina has lost to Georgia Tech. Jesus, North Carolina, you had one flipping job.
Oh man.
Hey, so
Gotta
Mars
count
says,
those.
who is Georgia's tight end coach? Hey, man, just the best tight end coach in the nation, man. Todd Hartley, baby, best recruiter in the
It
nation
is,
too.
man. Good
Hey,
grief.
man, we trying to pay Todd Hartley like he a coordinator. We ain't trying to lose Todd Hartley.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, Todd Hartley does a great job getting those guys ready. Oscar Depp didn't have to make a lot of catches, but I want to say he only had 2. But Oscar Depp blocked like a madman today. And matter of fact, he had a key block on one of the touchdowns. So Shawty was getting in, said that definitely be the mindset when we was talking about it earlier. The SEC is going to be strong next season. That is for sure, Mars. That is for sure. Mike says the thing that makes me mad is KU ranked 113 in third down efficiency, and we were 2 for and y'all were 2 for 10 on third downs.
There was a lot of third and longs today. A lot of third and longs today because of stupid calls on first and second down.
Yeah.
Look, bottom line is they gotta be better, man. They gotta be better at all and at all phases. You know, it's like I said, I'm not just gonna sit here and blame it all on Jeff Lebby. I'm not. You know, they still went out there and I'm definitely not blaming Dylan Gabriel. Not doing that.
He played pretty good today.
I mean, he had that one pick six, and that's not good. But you know, they took the lead before the half. They should have, you know, they could have stepped on their neck a couple of different times, and they didn't. When you let a team that's well coached, like Lance Leipold's teams are, stay in games, you're going to have an opportunity to lose them. And they've been playing with fire a little bit. You know, they did last week with UCF. You know, and then to let these guys hang around as long as you did, I don't want to hear about the weather. I don't want to hear about none of it. I don't want to hear about officiating. If anything,
I don't think the officiating was bad enough to cause a lot. Like, listen, and I can say I am biased as a coach. As a coach, I tell my kids all the time, don't ever blame the refs, because if you leave it up to them, they definitely gonna mess it up, and it's your fault for leaving it up to them. I'm not that guy. It's always something you could have did to not let the refs affect the game. I get it; they're gonna miss calls here and there, but I'm like you, Jason. I'm not. Let's not talk about the refs. You know what I'm saying? C-Tide, that's right. Southern Cal can't stop anybody right now. If me, Jason, and Coach picked up 8 random guys off the street, I think we could score on SC, bro. That's like their defense is ridiculously bad, bro.
What happened to the Tide though when they went down to South Florida? You're talking a bunch of crap about OU. They could lose to anybody too.
So Keep Chopper says officially basketball season now for UNC. Hey, Midnight Madness was a couple of weeks ago. You might be right, dog.
Hey, Louisville strapped it on, Duke boy.
Listen, man, one thing you don't want to do is play Louisville at home. Louisville is a different team at home, man. They are a different team at home, man. So let's talk about conferences and who's looking to be possibly a part of the championship. Like right now, let's say Big 12, because I think Big 12 and Pac-12 are the most like kind of like jumbled up at the top per se. Again, we talked about the 4 teams that have the one loss. You got Texas, OU, Oklahoma State, and Kansas State all only have one loss in the Big 12. OU has Oklahoma State, so that's going to take care of one of those people. Like whether OU blast them or Oklahoma State gets lucky and wins, somebody's going to be out of the race. And then West Virginia, BYU, and TCU. That's what OU is looking at going forward. TCU, BYU, and West Virginia aren't in the race right now, but they're all looking like formidable opponents. You got to bring. I feel like you need to bring your A minus, the A plus. You A games at some point. I don't think you can sleep on any of those guys. You know what I'm saying, Jason?
No, you can't sleep on anybody in college football anymore. You can't do it. And and the bottom line is what there's definitely still some bad habits in some of these kids, and then they're young too. Yeah. So again, we said this all week. We said this before the loss. We've been saying it, that had Oklahoma gotten to the playoff this year, they were ahead of schedule. They're still ahead of schedule. They're ahead of schedule. Are they better? Are they better than they were? Yes. Is it a complete team? No, it's not. Yeah. They're not done getting ready. But listen, they've got 3 or 6 blue chip defensive line prospects that are in this class.
Yeah.
Including David Stone, and Nigel Smith, who are both, I mean, look, Danny Okoye on the edge rusher, they're going to be fine on defense. And today you saw, as much as you know, there were some things that you really wish they would have done a little better. They still stepped up and made some big plays when they needed to, and that's important, right? That's important. Yeah. And because PG from the PG show said something in one of our group chats. He was like, well, why is it, you know, the defense is going to have to bail us out of here again? Hey, they hadn't done it in 15 years, so it's all right.
It's all right. Let's lean on the defense. You know? Listen, not for nothing, next week we can call that in the Big 12 Separation Saturday. OU, but you got Bedlam.
Yeah.
That's 2 1-loss, like Big 12 1-loss teams. And then you got Texas taking on K-State. That's another 2 1-loss teams in the Big 12. So the losers of those games will have 2 Big 12 losses, and the winners will stay with 1 loss. So again, you still have to play the last 3 weeks, but next week legit could decide who's playing for the Big 12 championship if everybody takes care of business afterwards. So
you need to handle your business next week for damn sure. You know, don't waste anything. You
listen, from a fan perspective, you definitely want to, whoever it is, OK State, OU, you definitely want to win next week, because you do not know the next time you're gonna get to play them people. And that is not the case. That is not. Yes, no, man. In normal rivalries, you can say, "Okay, you got me for 364 days."
And Oklahoma State.
In this case, we do not know where you guys are gonna play again.
I barely like Cody's ass, man. I'm telling you.
That's what I'm saying. So over to the ACC, man. Listen, Florida State, they look good today. They beat the Brakes. They hadn't beat Wake Forest in 3 years. I think when we talked about it the other night, Jason, I said 2 out of the last 3, but they hadn't beat Wake Forest in 3 years. And they went to Wake Forest today and absolutely trounced the Demon Deacons, man. So Shawty says, with the North Carolina loss, because now they're a 2-loss team, does that hurt the ACC champion if it's a tight race? I think for it to hurt them, Florida State would need to lose in one of the games leading up to it, because like if they're undefeated, I don't think it hurts them, because right now there's only 4 conferences that are eligible to be undefeated conference champions. Big 12 today with OU going down, that took the Big 12 off the table for undefeated champions. Now that's not to say that their champions still can't get in the playoffs, because they can if everybody else, you know, has a loss. So if everybody else has 1 loss, Shawty, I think it does, because you start looking at, you know, your opponents, and it's like me and Jason talked about when I was doing my top 25. You kind of want, you know, I know you don't want to root in game for your rivals or your opponents, but you want those guys that you already beat to keep winning, because you want that loss. Like right now, and this is like for Notre Dame, because Notre Dame's got 2 losses. Everybody starts losing, right back in the picture. Florida State's win against Clemson, in most people's eyes, is going to look better than if Notre Dame goes to Clemson and win. You know why? Because now Clemson has 4 losses. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that same, you know, aura or whatever as when Florida State went there. Clemson only had 1 loss, but this is why I say ranking shouldn't be done until mid-season, because people are like, well, you know, hey, we beat this team, we beat that team. Well, do we know that team is good? Notre Dame winning makes Ohio State look even better. That's how that works. Louisville bashing Duke in makes Notre Dame look better. You know what I'm saying? That's how those things work. And I think if everybody has 1 loss, Shawty, just to go around being again. Shout out to Buc-ee's. We trying to get that sponsorship, Buc-ee's, on here on the Fanatic and over at Hall of Fame College Football. Shout out to Buc-ee's, one of the best all-in-one stop shops you can stop at in your travels. So let's talk about the Pac-12, man. Right now, Washington's the only undefeated. Then you got Oregon as a 1 loss. Arizona's got Oklahoma State on the ropes. I mean, Oregon State on the ropes early in the game.
10-10.
10-10. I told y'all, man, not for nothing. Every team that's traveled to Arizona has struggled in the Pac-12. And
Bro,
I don't know what it is
Arizona's
about.
the real deal. They should have beat the hell out of USC when they went up on them like they did. It took one of Caleb's best games. But look, even that, whenever I was on Blitz City last night, I'd heard that stat that they were talking about. Caleb Williams is not being good against top 25 talent. He's beaten everybody else, but against top 25 people, he hadn't done anything in the last couple of years, and a lot of that I think has to do obviously with
how Lincoln Riley
Washington losing to the Trojans. You guys gave up 49 to freaking Cal today, Bumble.
Yeah. So Steve G says, how will this affect OU in my rankings? Well, for one, it's going to affect your points per game margin, which is one of the criteria. It's going to affect the fact that you're a one-loss team. So now you'll be behind initially anyway. Initially, you'll be behind the undefeated teams with the win over Texas. Because, listen, in my rankings, Texas winning helps y'all. I know you might want to tie your future to Texas in my rankings, but it does. And I think it helps in the CFP too. Like, whereas North Carolina would drop a long way because they really hadn't beat anybody. OU losing today definitely hurts, but they still going to look at it like, well, Texas, because I can tell you right now, Texas is definitely going to be a top 10 team in the CFP on Tuesday, and that's going to help OU's resume as well. So in my rankings, just off top, the points per game margin and the actual, again, being a one-loss team initially before I factor in top 25. So if I had to just guess right now, y'all will probably go from 4 to about Liberty, I think, lost. Did Liberty lose? Y'all, it'll be like somewhere in the 10, 11, 12 range. I would just guess before I do it. I normally do it on Sundays. So that's what I think. That points per game margin is probably the biggest factor, though, outside of losing, because you guys were like absolutely blasting people by like 31. And when you lose, now you have negative points. And so it messes up your average. So
Liberty won this week, Coach.
Oh, Liberty did win. So I would say around 11, 12, 13. Penn State won today, but Penn State doesn't have Penn State was number 12 in the last rankings. They don't have a top 25 win. You guys do. So I would assume that has to matter. And your points per game margin was better than Penn State. So I would assume around 12 to 13 or so like that. Is the ACC overranked? I'll be honest with you, Mars. Coming into the year, I would have told you there was only like 3 teams that could actually do anything, and I thought it would have been Clemson, Florida State, and North Carolina. I thought Pitt would have had a decent season, but not necessarily. I thought they played more spoiler. I didn't see them as the way they were, so I guess you could call them overranked. Florida State still looks good. I watched the game today; they look good. I still think Jordan Travis tries to hit the home run ball a little bit too much for my personal liking. I think he should, stand at intermediate range when you're driving down the field, because against a better team, because Wake Forest isn't good. Let's be real, they're not good. Right. But against a better team in those playoff games, or even in the conference championship, because if you play Louisville ain't no pushovers. I can tell you that right now.
Right.
So
no, Louisville is the real deal. I think. I mean, look.
Yeah.
We talked about that. Jeff Rom is a heck of a coach, man. And
he's back home. He has that passion for Louisville. It's just something different about being at the place that you actually want to be and having love for that place like that. So, Mike Wilkerson says, "Shout out to Buc-ee's." Appreciate it, Mike.
Shout out to Buc-ee's.
Yeah, shout out to Buc-ee's.
It's the best place to be, and they got their own barbecue pitmaster right in the store. That's the place you got to be, man. Buc-ee's.
Who is Louis Bowles? He said we feel the same way about OU. Who is OS? Okay.
He's
Oklahoma State.
Clown.
I got you. Right, welcome in, Louis. Okay, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
Welcome in to get clowned, because you got to figure that's coming.
And then it says Dow 83. I'm just gonna call you 83. Dog. Ref had to help Texas beat Houston. Listen, I I won't deny that. And Houston just got absolutely torched by somebody.
That was happening today. Kansas State. Hey, listen, ever since Kansas State has changed their quarterback, and although it looked like they played Will Howard quite a bit today because he had a couple touchdown throws, but I think they're kind of doing using both of them. You know, we'll see, but I feel like oh yeah, you're gonna use the Mike Gundy line.
I don't know about that one right there, though. I don't know. The difference is what I will say is the last 2 weeks, Arizona State and today Stanford, at some point in the game, they was able to slow Washington down. But listen, man, y'all be giving it up like hey, listen, man, the Trojans be giving it up like the Daywalkers in Vegas, bro. I just don't see that happening, man. Like, I mean, I think the Trojans' best bet is that you got to score every time you get the ball. That's just that's the only way I see y'all beating Washington. Like, you can't get in the lull, and Lincoln Riley's got to run the ball a little bit more because Caleb be having to work too hard. You know what I'm saying? Today, Marshawn Lloyd looked good, and he's a great running back, but they just don't give him the ball enough. If they gave him the ball more, that would make it so much. They'd make it so much easier on the Trojans.
Yeah, they'd be a lot better football team.
Real quick, you're absolutely right there.
Which one?
Stephen G. Everyone should go over to Coach I's stream and make sure that you hit that like button. And if you're not already a subscriber, do that. I appreciate the fact that the Mafia comes in and goes through our stream, but a lot of times I don't even know if I should do it because I want to make sure that Coach I is getting the views that he needs on his channel. So please do get over there it's the Fanatic Sports Network on there. You'll find it. You know, you see his logo right there. It's up there. So make sure you guys go over there and do that. That's the best thing. And again, hit the like button, wipe your feet, folks. You know what I mean? This is it's the free way to support these channels. You guys can come in and talk all the crap you want, Louis. Make sure you become a subscriber, okay? And at least, at the very least, hit the like button, okay?
That's right. Shout out to Stephen G, man. Stephen G and Mars Jam, Stephen B, Hank, Mike. They're all subscribers on the channel, so they definitely get that done. We appreciate you.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you and Kim. So we appreciate y'all for getting in here, man.
Hank
so
hey man, the Mafia loves Coach I, so
that's right, man. So we like the Mafia over here on Fanatic too, man. So and they show up. Listen, man, not for nothing, man. They show up when we doing Respect the Hedges too, dog. You're right. It's the Respect the Hedges crew, man. They come in there and show love. So shout out to the guys,
I wasn't
man.
On a show at the time when Respect the Hedges, I would always be there.
So Jason is talking a lot of crap. Brandon Walker talked some crap about Florida.
Am I talking a lot of crap, or is Brandon Walker talking a lot of crap?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coach I said, make me mod on you. Okay, Mike, I'll do that. Matter of fact, I'll do that for you, dog. Because I only got one mod right now. That's my girl.
Yeah, I made him a mod on mine just recently. Adele was back in here tonight, and she's been on all day. But I needed an extra one, somebody to keep out the riffraff.
Yeah,
because a lot of it's around lately. What did I say? What did I say? Talking shit.
I don't remember. Maybe it was about Oklahoma State. Maybe
Oklahoma State, of course.
Appreciate you, Louis. Louis says always hits the like button. We appreciate that, man. That's what I'm saying. Like,
we're gonna talk shit on you too.
Hey, that's right. That's right, man. That's right. We're gonna do that, man. So, hey, man, listen. This is like it's still leading, and we got 4 or 5 more weeks left. This has been a good college football season, dog. I ain't gonna front, man. As a college football fan, it's been a great college football season. And I wish we say this all the time, but Kai, why it couldn't be the first year of the 12-team playoff? You know what I'm saying? Like, why this couldn't be the year for the 12-team playoff? You know what I'm saying? Because this would be, honestly, I don't know how you pick favorites on neutral field with a lot of these people. You know what I'm saying?
You could have a Cinderella team out of it this year, guys. You truly could.
You could. Like I say, if Oregon State holds on tonight, look at them in the Pac-12. They only got 1 loss. I want to say they get Oregon. Let me see their schedule. Do they get Oregon at home? Because if they get Oregon at home, that could get really interesting. And what better story would that be for DJU?
Oh, big time. Big
Talk
time.
about some internal vindication for yourself, dog.
Listen, man, I'm telling you, everybody that's seen anything out of him this year, because Oregon State isn't one of those
It's at
teams
Austin.
that everybody watches. It is at Austin, but hey, look, they won last year without a quarterback.
Hey, shout out to Nilio, man. Nilio, hey, listen, Nilio gave me that's on my channel. I appreciate you, man. See, that's what I'm talking about, man.
That's what I'm talking about.
Nilio listen, he been showing out all week.
K-State guy.
Listen, and keep it up, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I see he be showing mad love, man. I appreciate that, man. Like I said, as content creators, man, we try to put on for y'all, man. So we're gonna keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? Coach, do you think this loss puts y'all behind schedule? I do not. And not for 1 second. Again, I did not think you guys were going undefeated. I thought it was 10-2 or 11-1 at best. I didn't think you guys were going 9-3. That me personally, I know some people probably said, but even 9-3, let's keep it real.
They're still ahead.
9-3 in Brent Venables' second year.
Yeah.
Bro.
After with the mess he was left, let's not forget that part of it.
Guys, they are completely ahead of schedule. I was a 9-3 guy, but even 9-3 puts them way ahead of schedule.
Yeah, for sure.
And Jason mentioned earlier, their recruiting has been incredible, and they're going to be better again next year.
It's a whole new world, man. It's a whole new world, and I mean. That's one thing about Okie Light. They only wish they could do like half that well in recruiting.
So that's the thing. I think you guys are actually right on schedule, to be honest with you. If you're talking about building a program, you're right on schedule. The key is, and the thing to watch is whether you go 9-3, 10-2, or 11-1 and win the conference championship. It's not even about this year. It's about how you follow it up next year. Again, with the recruiting class coming in, with the success that you had today. Like if you let's say
build on it. You need to build on it.
Exactly. If you go 9-3 this year, then even in the first year of the SEC, 8-4 is the least you can accept. That's the least you can accept. If you're talking about building
you got to go on the road to play LSU. You got to go on the road to play, I believe, Ole Miss and Auburn.
Well, I keep telling myself in my beady little brain, OU is back. They're back and building to the OU of old.
This is the first time that I can remember in a long time that I felt like OU wasn't just – it was the tougher team almost every week out there. Now, again, not to take anything away from Kansas today, and I can tell you now, Oklahoma State is not going to out-tough Oklahoma next week. It's just not going to happen, just like Texas didn't.
Yeah.
And that's just the whole thing. They have taken on that Brent Venables mindset and that attitude of being the tougher of the two teams. Now, there's some stuff that you're looking for that they need to improve, and they definitely look. I said it last week. Whenever they almost lost, but they won, the first thing that Coach V said in the press conference was, "Look, I enjoy it when we win, and I have to go out and yell at people on Monday." He wants to coach them, and they want to be coached too.
Listen, good coaches can always find stuff to yell at their team about. I don't care what it is.
Kirby Smart might be the best at telling everybody, at making everybody believe that everybody hates his team.
Because at the end of the day, even if you beat somebody like the first week, I think you guys beat Western Carolina 70-something to nothing or something. I don't know. You still can watch film and go in there, and those coaches that don't find the things to yell at or at least to address, those are the coaches that don't make it over the hump. So you won't Brent Venables doing those kind of things. Shawty, we definitely agree with this. He says second year is the most when most teams see that improvement. Exactly, because they've learned the playbook. Now they're getting a little bit confident, but it's going to be year 3, 4, and 5. Exactly. Sure. That's why I think, regardless, like I say,
into this though, I said that even that first year in the SEC, even if they were to shock the world and do whatever this year, I wouldn't expect them to go into the SEC next year and win 12 games and be, and just, I just wouldn't.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. Like, even if OU was to make the CFP,
my feeling is that 25 is the year for Oklahoma that they should really battle for the national title. They should.
And I'm saying right now, like, even if you guys for some like make the CFP this year, next year in the SEC, if you go 8-4, 9-3, I don't think people need to be jumping like, you know, getting all crazy, because you're in a totally different conference with totally different athletes, totally different, like, you know, elite teams, that kind of thing. So it's gonna, like Shawty said, it's gonna be year 3, 4, or 5. So
sure, yeah.
Mike says, I like our chances going into the SEC next year. Listen, LSU, there's no divisions, but LSU's quarterback is gone. Not for nothing, they do have a Nussmeier. If he stays, he is a gunslinger. That dude can sling that rock. But you got Alabama breaking in a new quarterback. We don't know if Georgia's going to have a new quarterback or not, but you got South Carolina at the crib. South Carolina have a new quarterback. Ole Miss will have a new quarterback. So, you know, it's a lot of teams that are having new quarterback. So, I mean, like right now, I think you're still on schedule, man. I don't think this loss today changes anything. Louis says, how do you think you're going to beat Georgia, LSU? Well, OU doesn't have to play Georgia next year, so that's something they don't have to worry about. I don't know if
talking about just, and I think he's talking about year to year, because that's
okay, I got you.
This is the mating call, the lovable Okie Light loser right here, is that they all want to say you're going to be the Nebraska of the SEC. That's the stupidest shit ever. First and foremost, they're recruiting. The reason that they're going to beat them at times is because they're blue bloods also, and they recruit right up there with them. That's why.
Appreciate you, Sean.
You got to get the guys. You got to get the guys, and you got to have a hell of a defensive coach. You have that. Offensively, they're still in the top 10 in the country in every category.
Coach over there drinking because of the Notre Dame win today, knocking over stuff and everything, man.
In the end, it's gonna. I'm not saying that
but I'm with you.
Dominated. They're gonna compete just like they always do, no matter what.
Well, this is what I said
against Alabama lifetime. Period.
And this is what I said when Kirby first got the job, and I watched his first full recruiting class. I watched him address the needs. We were not tough enough up in the trenches. And he wanted to make sure we had playmakers on the outside and that we had a stout defense. What you can tell from Brent Venables, you know, we don't know what the future holds, but right now what we can see is Brent Venables knows you have to have trenches for the SEC, and he's addressing those needs. We'll see if those guys pan out, but right now, if we're talking about recruiting rankings, hey, that thing right there, he's doing what he's got to do. So right now, I think he's right on.
And he had a month to save it. You know, when he got there, and it'll be 3 straight top 10. And if they end up getting a couple of the guys that we're thinking, they're going to be top 5 again.
Yeah. So Steve B said in Oklahoma State will still be 7-5.
He's not wrong. He's not. As long as Mike Gundy's there, that's what it's going to be. And especially now that, you know, you think you got a reprieve when Oklahoma and Texas left, but now you get to deal with Utah and Colorado, because Colorado is going to be recruiting like that too.
Yeah. So, hey, man, it's good. Like I say, man, good college football, man. Hey, Big 10. Penn State looks like they're on the road. Can they beat Michigan, Coach? Can they beat Michigan and do a round robin? This maybe it's a one loss everybody at the top, but I don't know.
You know what? Before all this scandal going on, I'd have said Michigan wins again, but there's a lot of background noise there right now, and I don't know that they can stay focused on the game itself. So at this point, I'm going to say that OSU may win it.
Listen, you just said it. Distractions can cripple a team. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I know a lot of Georgia fans are always like, when we wearing black jerseys, but that's why Kirby doesn't like alternate jerseys. Because it's a distraction and it can take your mind off the focus. And now in a negative way, Michigan is going through a lot, and we don't know when the NCAA gonna do whatever they're gonna do, or how harsh or not harsh is gonna be, but it's still a distraction. So they were off this week. I think if I'm not mistaken, they get Penn State next week or the week after next, and that's gonna be a make or break for Penn State. I mean, if they want to stay in this race, they got to beat Michigan, and they got to hope that also that Michigan beats Ohio State.
I'm not real sold on Penn State, Coach. I
watched their offense.
I I watched them today really, really close, and I thought, wow, they just didn't. They weren't very impressive.
I was higher on them early in the season. Now, just
Yeah.
after watching the game and
Yeah.
seeing them, like, God, bro, like, why can't they put it all together? And it's like maybe my thoughts of Penn State are higher than they actually should have been. Maybe I should have been thinking, because I was thinking, 11-1, possibly 12-0 coming into the season.
Yeah.
Depending on what happened with and I'm be honest with you, Ohio State is not the same explosive offense they were last year. We saw that today against Wisconsin. Like,
guys, y'all know, you guys know they ought to be a one-loss team right now.
Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, exactly. You guys too. That's what I'm saying. It's like they're not that same team.
Beat their butts.
So I think I still got Michigan and Ohio State undefeated, playing for it in that last rivalry week to see who goes to the Big 10 championship.
Yeah.
And whoever wins that game, I definitely got them winning the Big 10 championship. So
agreed.
I know Wisconsin put up a good fight against Ohio State tonight, but I don't even know if they're in a place to make it to the championship, to be honest with you.
Nah.
Down in the South, man, the SEC. Georgia's still undefeated. They're the only undefeated team. We got Missouri next week. Missouri had a week off this week, and they only have one loss. But in the West, you got LSU with one conference loss. You got Alabama with one conference loss. You got Ole Miss with one conference loss. Jason, who you got coming out of the West?
If Jaden Daniels keeps playing like he's playing, I think that LSU might. I mean, they have the worst defense in the country, I think. But dude, this guy, that's why I really think that he's the leader for the Heisman right now. The dude is willing them to win. He literally has more. I think he was like 3 yards behind Michael Penix. He had less interceptions and 5 more touchdowns, though.
I think what's holding him back is that maybe that Florida State loss that people are still thinking about. You know what I'm saying? As far as Heisman,
I've been saying Alabama all year, but if I wouldn't be that surprised if LSU found a way.
And that's next weekend, by the way. They both had the week. They both had the week off. That's next weekend. Yeah, it's always the first Saturday in November. Appreciate you, Lone Wolf. Says
it's not worse than the USC defense, Bumble. My bad. The second worst defense in the country, but the worst secondary.
Big Bumbo say, "Hold up, my guy!" Like we own that title, dog. Stop trying to give it away.
I gotta give it credit. That actually was probably comment of the day.
Right. That was definitely comment of the night.
That was good.
We appreciate that one, dog.
Gotta give you some
Mars says 55-17. We appreciate that, Mars. I think you called a blowout in this Florida game too, Mars, if I'm not mistaken, from last Saturday night snap count. So keep calling the blowouts, Mars. We appreciate it. We need it. But hey, Bumbo, hey man, that was I'm gonna have to show that one again, dog.
That's a classic. That's a classic.
Hey, definitely a good one right there, dog. I can't even lie on that one, bro.
You
Carson
says,
Coach
I.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. We'll go there. We'll go this question.
I was just gonna say, history tells us Brian Kelly doesn't win big ball games, guys. History tells us that Alabama wins big ball games.
Big facts.
I don't see LSU pulling it out. I think I truly believe Alabama ends up winning
that one.
It would not surprise me in the least, but also with the way that Daniels is playing, I mean, he
is playing lights out.
The one thing is that they definitely have the quarterback advantage and offense advantage with old Tommy Reese over there. But
they do.
They will
play against, and they're playing against a quarterback who's not the greatest passer in the world.
Either. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So Carson says, "Does Oregon get into the top 5 after they dominated Utah in the CFP?" We got the 4. Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. I think
if I'm picking my 4, I just put them up there. I think the best 4 teams in the country. And I don't even know that Michigan has beat the hell out of everybody, even though they haven't played anybody. But they have done their job. Now, I kind of agree with Coach on that all this stuff hanging over their head could affect them negatively. It could affect them very well. Hey, Dakota, thank you for becoming a member again.
Is that member for 2 months?
Yeah, he renewed. So thank you, Dakota. We appreciate that.
That's what's up.
All right.
Steve B
Good
say
job.
Georgia, OSU, FSU, and then the winner of the Ohio State, Michigan. I can get with that. I can tell you like this: Florida State has the weapons to win it all. I can tell you that right now because we hadn't heard a lot.
I just don't think Jordan throws it that well, bro.
Well, that's true. I think he's kind of like a shooter in basketball that gets. He's a streaky guy, like type. When he's in a zone, though, he makes all those throws. You know,
but receiver wise, they are low. He doesn't have to be that accurate, man. He just does.
That's the thing. When you got Keon Coleman out there at 6'4.5", maybe even 6'5", I don't know, but he's like one-handed and jumping over people.
Keon is a stud, bro.
And what you hate is an LSU fan at the beginning of the season tried to tell me Keon Coleman wasn't that good because he was doing it in the Big Ten. I'm like, bro, you ain't watching football, bro. I'm like, Keon Coleman's that guy.
Did you not see what happened to Michigan State when he left?
Exactly. Steve B said
UGA got caught up in everything, man.
Steve G said UGA, Washington, Ohio State, Michigan. Again, I'm not. Let's see. Mars says Georgia versus Florida State. I'm thinking Florida State right there, and Washington versus Michigan. Ooh, contrasting styles over there with that Washington, Michigan. Like Washington definitely won't be able to handle the physicalness of Michigan, but I don't know if Michigan's seen an offense like Washington right now. And I don't think Ohio State's offense is that either. Oh, listen, Kyle McCord, he actually got hurt today and then came back in the game. So I don't know what his status is for next week. But again, he's good, but he ain't CJ Stroud. He ain't Justin Fields. So Lone Wolf says Florida State's pretty balanced off. That's what I will say. They are definitely but they're balanced on they're balanced on offense and defense, but they're also balanced on offense. They got a good run game. I will say that. Yeah. So I mean, it's gonna be listen again. 5 more weeks of college football, man. And it's gonna be interesting. There, LSU does have to go to Bama next week, Jason. So that might make a difference as well. It's not.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of wishful thinking, I guess, but I don't think that.
I think it's gonna be a good game, though. I think it's gonna be a good game because
it always is generally, right? LSU and Alabama play tough football against each other.
Because
they can beat Bama, that's LSU.
And the thing is, if you break it down by component, you go offense, you take an LSU, defense, you take an Alabama, special teams, I think it's kind of a draw. Coaching, you definitely taking Bama,
right? No doubt.
When Nick Saban's out there, so I can tell you this: if LSU beats Bama, look for Jalen Daniels to have a Heisman type moment in that game because he's gonna need to.
He's gonna need to have it. Yeah,
he's gonna need that for sure. So says Jason, if Michigan gets heavily penalized, can OU snag the OC from them? Where did Moore start at, Steve G? I honestly don't know right now. He's doing good though. He's doing good. He's doing way better than Josh Gaddis, in my opinion.
There's also that the guy that's already on the staff. He's the North Texas, the guy that was the North Texas coach, and now he's just a consultant right now. But I think that he would probably be next in line too. I don't know that they're going to fire Jeff Lebby.
That's what I was about to say. You took the words out of my mouth. Before we go getting another OC.
But this is you know how this is. You know how this shit is. It's just like that in freaking Athens too. They were, they've been wanting to fire Bobo all year. So
Mike said the LSU plays in Tuscaloosa. But no, that's what I'm saying. Like, I get it. Somebody did say early in the comments, I think it was either Hank or Steve G or Steve B that said Lebby's had 3 bad games so far. Because I said one, he has 1 bad game. I still don't know if y'all ready to get rid of Lebby right now. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know that they are either. And the thing about this is another thing you got to remember, he's recruiting very, very well. Some of those guys may not come with him if he's not there.
Big facts.
Got to see what happens the rest of the season too, boys.
Some Jeff Lebby.
Yeah. Like Coach said, we got to see what happens these next 5 weeks. that'll determine, like, if you have some more, inexplicable, why did you call this type deal, especially
Right.
like if we
This is on BV too, to make sure that they
true.
call the game the way that you want it run.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. If BV, he's probably had a talk with Levy. We definitely know he had a talk with Levy after his father-in-law came on the sideline and all that. But he's probably going to have a talk with Levy. This, like, hey man, when we're in this situation, A, B, or C, we need to keep doing X, Y, Z, and then going forward, if he doesn't do the things that Brent Venables like, I'm not saying it's out of the realm of possibility that he fires him, but right now I don't think that's necessarily the way that you're going to go, because I don't necessarily know if just play calling was the reason.
One loss, guys. One loss.
Exactly.
They don't fire a guy over one loss. I mean, he was part of those wins, all the wins we've had this year too, right?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I mean, you guys are top 5 in
Dylan Gabriel was in the top 5 for the Heisman, and
I told Georgia fans the same thing. Like, you calling for Bobo, but yet we're putting up 40 points, bro. What we talking about here? Do you not like the way it look, or do you not like the results? Because the results say something different. I don't care how you think the game is going. We're top 5. Like to say, you guys are top 5 in offense. I don't know if you really can say it's all on the offense. Again, you gave up 38 to Kansas. So I mean,
but again, when the offense is giving up that much, you can't be turning the football over either, and that's something they did today in plus territory for the other side. Look, if you look at what they did, they also had 3 turnovers. You gotta be better than that. You got to be better than that. That's all, and there's no excuse for them not going up there and getting it handled. There's just not.
Mars says Levy is average. Mars is ready to move the flip on.
So is everybody. Yeah, he's not the only one, Coach. I'm telling you. He's K Chris was like, I'm making a short video right now about it. He said it's time for him to go.
Listen,
this is a creator, and I mean, we were all pissy about it. And in the end, I'm not happy about the way he's calling plays either. I'm not.
I got you. But are you not happy? Like, get rid of Levy? Not happy?
No. And look, man,
that's a different level right now.
I'm pissed off about it, and I think that there needs to be some serious come to Jesus talking. It's sweet. There really does. But look, and I'll just defer to what Coach said. Look, it's your team. It's your football team, Coach Venables. And I know you're a defensive guy, and for the most part, you want to let your offensive guys do it. He needs you to step in there and say something to him. Period.
And sometimes you got to do that. You know what I'm saying? As a head coach, that is on you. If something isn't going as planned, you know, definitely in the week leading up to the next game, you're like, look, man, this is like tomorrow. They have coaches meeting on Sundays.
That's right.
Hey, man. Hey, this ain't how we want to handle this situation right here, Coach. We want to do something different. And then you go by, like, once you give them the guidelines, then you go by what they do after they have the guidelines, because maybe they hadn't discussed certain situations leading up to it. No fault of anybody, but sometimes you don't talk about stuff until it's presented to you. And now going forward, Dakota said, I think we need a co-OC for Jeff Levy. It might benefit us that they did it to Brent, to him, and make him prove himself. Listen, I'm not against that either. Like, initially, Georgia had co-defensive coordinators. It was Glenn Schumann and Will Muschamp. And now
last time they had co-offensive coordinators, it went to shit, though.
Well, and I was just fixing to say that, guys. You know, just because you add initials to somebody and call them a co doesn't make you any damn better. Because now you got two minds working together to hopefully make it better, but they could be working against each other.
True that. I said the same thing when we were talking about me and Stat was talking about Clemson, and he was like, well, you know, Jeff Scott's back in the building. I said, but Jeff Scott is an analyst, and at the end of the day, he's not the offensive coordinator. And if I'm Garrett Riley, like, again, me and Coach always say this, as coaches, ego. Where you're not going to come in here and tell me how to run my offense.
Exactly.
Hey, bad or good, you're not coming. Listen, I put the chat F is for
Yeah,
Fanatic.
that's
I put it.
Professor. That's from High Top.
Okay, yeah. I put the StreamYard. Did it not go through? Oh, my bad. No. Oh yeah. Use the StreamYard to get in, Professor, if you want to come in.
You know,
Jay
guys,
Morris.
and it. I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead. No.
No,
You go.
at the end of the day, guys, you know, God dog it. One loss. Let the guy, you know, Venables tomorrow morning. He needs to sit down and talk. You know, and Coach, I know y'all did it this way too, probably. But you're going to have a conversation whether you had a great game or a horrible game or something in between. You're going to meet with those coordinators and you're going to have one-on-one. You're going to have conversations. What could we have done better? What do you think we could have done better? Well, let me tell you what. Here's what I think. I think you need to quit running the damn jet sweep and nothing else with it. You know, whatever that is, and say, you know, at the end of the day, this is what I want to see. I want to see more running between the tackles or whatever it might be. But they need to have that conversation. And damn it, you know, hell, like I said earlier in the podcast, you know, people were defending the hell out of Levy, and then we lose the game, and then people are attacking his ass. And we had people attacking his ass before. You know, let's let the season play out.
Yeah.
You're not going to fire his ass in the middle of the season. You've won too many games to do that. So let him play out the year. And you know what? At the end of the season, guys, maybe BV says, look, dude, you know, we went 10-2, 11-1. You did a great job, but I think I want to go a different direction.
Yeah.
You know, at that time, let it happen. And at this point, we don't know.
And with the good coaches, like Coach said, these things are brought up whether we like the results of the game or not. Like today, you know, for all intents and purposes, we was up 30 on Florida. They scored a late touchdown. But even the part, not even talking about the late touchdown, even the 43-13 part of the game, Kirby's gonna have some stuff to say to Mike Bobo about that game. Kirby's gonna have something to say to Glenn Schumann about those 13 points. Like, and even not on drives, like I tell my kids, like when I was coaching basketball, I'd be like, okay, you hit the 3, but it still was a bad shot. Like we talk about those things. So next time that you don't do that. And great coaches are going to do that. So if you feel like BV is that, you know, on that level, you know, he's going to have that talk with Levy. He's going to have the talk with his DC.
I think that there was times last year that he got into it too much.
Yeah. I think he's going to have something to say about his DP. Again, I don't like I said, I don't think the missing tackles was a reason you lost, but it was definitely a problem last week and today.
There was blown coverages too. And listen, like I said about Reggie Pearson, hey, the dude is a 6th-year freaking senior. And I love it that he hits hard, but damn it, you got to stop getting freaking – you can't be getting tossed and getting 15-yard penalties on – it was going to be 4th down, bro.
That's right. Shout out to Neelio, man. Neelio said got to be out of here.
But you know, Jason, I'll say this, though, Jason, and I agree with you. You got to be smarter than that. I've seen some of that with some of our better players, linebackers that have had to sit out a game for targeting and that kind of crap. And you know, when you're a good defensive football team and you're attacking, you know, damn, it's kind of hard sometimes to pull up and those kinds of things. It's a mentality. So I'm going to defend him a little bit from that perspective, although it wasn't the smartest thing to do. But, you know, going back to what you were talking about, though, Coach, I know today after the Notre Dame game, you know, hell, they scored 1 touchdown. Well, Coach was pissed off. He even mentioned it to the media at the end of the game. He said, I liked the game, but I sure didn't like giving up that 7 points. That's right. And I guarantee you they're going to have that conversation tomorrow about those 7 points that went up on the scoreboard, even though you kicked the shit out of them.
And good coaches are going to find stuff on drives anyway. Mike Wilkinson says jet sweep is now a drinking game like the competitive. Crazy, man. Okay. Hey, man, welcome into the show, man. Cody, the professor from High Top Sports. What's going on, Cody?
Just taking this big old loss that Georgia deviled out to us. You know, it just tells us that we are still a couple years away. You know, I think Billy Napier is the guy, but we are still just talent-wise, we're a couple years away.
I think you hit it.
I feel like that early. It wasn't aggressive. It was
playing not to lose instead of
playing not.
coaching to win.
I don't want to say play not to lose. It was almost we have to do this to be in this game. What would you call it? I'm slipping the words. Like it was almost too much. It was too early, too much, and it was one of those things where, come to find out, it bit us in the ass.
Yeah,
Georgia's a good team. I'm not taking any credit away from them. Do I think they're 48 points better than Florida? I don't, but it's one of those things where they just whipped our ass in the trenches. I don't know what happened from the first drive to the 10th drive.
Well, this is the thing. This is what I always say about the first drive of games, and this is for any team. I feel like the first drive, scripted games, those are the 10 to 12 plays that you spent all this time watching film. You like, this is gonna work, this is gonna work, this is gonna work, and you come out and they do work. But then the other team says, okay, well, they was killing us with this, and let's do something they hadn't seen on film, or let's add this wrinkle. And it's like you guys still have, like, with the defensive coordinator, especially, you have a young guy, so he's still learning his way. So like we have veteran and seasoned guys that can make those adjustments in game on the fly. And it's like now all your analysts go out the window. You're like, oh shit, like they were supposed to do XYZ, but they're not doing it. They're not throwing it to the tight end. What are we supposed to do? And I think some of that played the key. I think Shamar, listen, man, I meant to say this in the opening. Thumbs down to the city of Jacksonville. Don't be residing fields 2 days in a row.
That's bullshit.
Bro, did you see the field? Like the field was
terrible.
Horrible. The field, like I was like, please don't let no Georgia person get hurt today, because Shamar James got injured in pregame.
That shouldn't happen, right, Coach?
Bro, the field was horrible. The field was
y'all
horrible.
can blame it on High Top, why a professor hasn't been on our show lately. So he's been working his ass too hard.
I've watched High Top and seen Professor. This is our first time meeting.
Hey, I'll ask you this. Obviously, Coach you're a Georgia fan, and I say this. Do you feel like 2 years from now, like Florida could be a problem when Trey Wilson is a junior and some of these other guys that come in are starting to step up? Do you see the light as a Georgia fan for Florida? I just ask you this. You don't have to sugarcoat it for me, but I gotta know. Do you see that that Florida is on the up and coming of where they were in the past? Not gimmicks.
I know. I can tell you this. I'm gonna be honest with you, like all real talk, even when we pick us to win, regardless of how much we pick us to win by, we always see Florida as a problem. But for one, it's a lot of reasons, but for one, because you guys recruit in the state of Florida. The state of Florida is really, I think, per capita, number one. I think it's Florida, then Georgia, and then California, and then Texas. That's my personal opinion. Not saying that's the thing at all. Also, it's always going to be like Florida's always going to have that championship mindset first, per se, because that's all. I mean, the fans won't allow you to have anything else. Like I'll be honest with you, I kind of almost felt bad for Bill Napier last year, because in the offseason, this dude hadn't even coasted, like the season hadn't even started, and Florida fans was like killing him for losing a couple of recruits here, a couple of recruits there. I was like, Jesus Christ. Like
third in the country too. And
listen,
recruiting?
Man, we heard it from Urban. We heard it from Spurrier. It's like, there's no pressure like being the coach at Florida. Now, what I will say is, personally, I don't believe Billy Napier is the guy to get you to a natty. Now, he's going to win a lot of games, but I don't think he's the guy to get you to a natty. That's just my point.
Do you feel he is I think
it's a Mark Rick. He's a bridge. He's a bridge to the next guy. Maybe he wins a conference title, but I don't think Billy is the guy to take you to a national championship.
I got a question for you, Coach. If you watch the game at all, you got a very young defensive coordinator. What do you do with him after 4 weeks of just defensive elapse, just bad defense? Do you pull them in your office? Do you chew them out? Do you say, listen, you got to figure this out because my job is on the line. I'm paying these guys to eat. And you are the reason why these guys are not going to eat. They're not going to feed their families if you can't figure this the fuck out.
Well, the first thing Coach Napier needs to do is look in the mirror. I hired his ass. He hired him. But at the end of the day, he is a young coach, and you know what? You need to mentor those guys. You knew he was a young coach when you hired his ass. And so we were just talking about it before you got on, Cody. You know, we were talking about it with Oklahoma. You know what? Tomorrow, all head coaches, no matter who the hell their coordinators are, no matter how great the game went or how bad it went, you need to sit down with your coordinators and you need to let them know what the hell you really thought. We need to get better here. We need to get better there. If you can't get that done, you know, and you got to tell them. You got to give them the expectations. And you know what? This week in practice, I want to see this. I want to see these things. I want to check these boxes and make sure that you're getting this done before as we prepare for the next game. So, but again, Napier's ass hired him, and he needs to be accountable for that.
And I'll say to tag on to that, Napier to me doesn't seem like a fiery guy. He doesn't seem like with OU. They got Brent Venables. Brent Venables was that fiery guy for Clemson. It's the reason why you don't see them as physical. Like, I get it. He was a DC, but he, as a coaching staff, he was the guy to bring the physicality, that toughness mindset. And somebody on the staff has to have that. And I don't feel like Florida has that particular thing. Well, you know what I'm saying?
I think Armstrong is that. He's, you know, we nicknamed him Baby Kirby. He is ferocious on the field. I almost wonder if he's just too young to where the kids are just like, I'm not 100% sure right now.
I think you got to have somebody behind him or with him that, like, for instance, okay.
Is that a thing, Coach? Both of y'all?
Yeah, I mean, it could be. But it's the thing is, I'm not at practice, so I don't know how he came in. If he came in to I always tell coaches that first start out, you got to gain respect and then worry about they liking you. Like, he could have came in and tried to be a player's coach first. You always reserve that second. Like, you want to come in, establish your rule, and then, because I had a assistant coach one time, he came in and tried to be the player's coach, and then he wondered why they didn't listen to him in the mid game. I'm like, because you're their friend. Like, you can't be their friend. Like, you want to be cool, but you got to lay down the law. And he did, you know, coach at Georgia. He was an analyst for a year. He's still young, and some of the guys could look at him like you're saying, Cody. He could be like, well, man, this dude don't really know what he's talking about. And then Billy has to be right there to enforce anything he's saying.
To kick him in the ass.
Yes, because if a Georgia player would have looked at Dan Laney like that, Dan Laney is only 39. And I'm like, if they'd have looked at him like that, they didn't know when they looked past Dan, Kirby standing right there. They're like, well, you know, you're right there. You right, Dan. You right.
This cat's younger than me. He's 31.
That's crazy.
And right baby face like me. Like, could you imagine? Like, and he's not like built, like not a big stat. Could you I'm 5'11", 160 pounds. Could you imagine me screaming at players that are?
Hey,
listen,
Lou Holtz,
no.
Lou Holtz is the littlest son of a bitch on the earth.
I was about to say, hold on.
And he brought fear to everybody's ass.
Nick Saban's about 5'8" at best.
Yeah,
and brings fear.
It's about how you establish yourself. You know, when you first come in, it's a little bit harder for younger coaches now because, again, these players are actually making money. You know what I'm saying? So it's and that's why some of that doesn't. You know, it changed the game. That's why some of that doesn't work in the NFL because they like, well, hold up, dog. I'm making a couple of million. You can't just be younger than me like that, dog. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's so important for Napier to have his back at all costs, to lay down the law. And that's what I'm saying. I don't see that. Napier is just this kind of like, hey, man, we out here, dog. It's cool, dog. It's cool. Like,
Yeah.
no, it's not cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah.
not cool. You know what I'm saying? When you
Not
struggle with
okay,
Charlotte,
bud. Not okay.
you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be off. Like, if you listen to Dale McGee, our running backs coach at Georgia, talk about how it is, like Dale McGee is, listen, I'm gonna tell you, I'm 46, dog. And Dale McGee like my age, if not older. And when you hear him talk, listen, when you hear him talk about Kirby Smart, you think he was a third grader. Like, he talking about, oh no, like, you know, Kirby don't, we can't do that. You know, it's this mindset. It's like, no, we can't do that. And I don't feel like Billy is that guy. And I don't think that's all on Armstrong. I know he's young, but if he's fiery and he lights into some people, and I'm not saying this happens, but Napier's got to be right there. Like, you know, nah, dog, this the dude right here. You ain't gonna be going off script. This is the guy. He's young, but he knows. I wouldn't have hired him if I didn't think he knows what he's doing.
We are also playing a bunch of freshmen. Like, we're the youngest, one of the youngest teams.
That's not a bad thing.
No, it's not. It's not. I like Marshall. Listen, I'm be honest with you. I didn't have y'all 5-2 before this game, and so I think this is what we start telling OU. You know, some of the viewers for OU. It's like,
yeah.
Think about what you thought the Florida team was going to be, Cody, before the year.
Oh, four wins at best when we saw the schedule.
All right, so you saw the schedule. You said 4 wins at best. Wow. Y'all were 5-2 coming into the game. Now y'all 5-3. Bro, y'all already had a schedule.
We're gonna beat Arkansas.
You know,
Arkansas is terrible. Yeah, so we're gonna make a bowl game. But it's one of those things where it's like Georgia is it? It's the eclipse, the ellipsis. It's like, can we hang with them? Can we hang with them?
This is the thing. Michigan spent all their time in the last 2 years trying to beat Ohio State. How did that fare for them in the playoffs? One thing that Dabo did when he got
they built a team to beat Ohio State only.
That's what they did. So what I'm saying is, yes, I know y'all Florida, we Georgia, we want to beat each other. That's like understood. But what I'm saying is, you don't want to just be like, we got to be good enough to beat Georgia because then we can beat everybody else. Because if you only focus on the one team, then you run into things like Michigan and TCU or Michigan and us, where like when Dabo first got to Clemson had lost to Carolina like 5 times in a row. And everybody's like, just beat Carolina. He was like, well, we want to beat Carolina, but we want to beat everybody. And he was able to build. And so Napier has a thing like that. Yes, you guys do want to beat us, but you can't just want to beat us. Like Kirby told a reporter, we're not practicing to beat somebody. We're practicing to beat everybody because Florida means a lot. But Florida ain't the only person that means a lot, like only team that means a lot. You got to actually coach. And again, I personally don't think Napier is that guy. I think Armstrong's a good DC. He called today he called 3 run blitzes that I was definitely impressed with. And then he sent the corner blitz every time we had that sugar huddle. And I got mad at Carson for kept throwing it into number 3, Marshall's arms. I'm like, bro, stop doing that. Stop throwing it into Marshall's arms, bro. What are you doing? Like, he's coming off the edge. Stop doing that. So I think you guys got some players. I actually really wanted Shamar James to come to Athens. He didn't, but I hated he got hurt. But he still played. Shout out to Shamar James, dog. That dude played until like late
with a strained ligament. Yeah.
Now Jalen Kimber was at Georgia. I felt like he was a good cover corner. He's not very, he's kind of petite for a corner, so
yeah,
he's not going to be much in the run game. But today, the touchdown he gave up, I promise you, on film, it looked like when I'm watching, it looked like he gave up. So I don't know what that was about. But y'all got some players
like a lot with Kimber. Yeah, and then obviously the next class coming in, Lagway.
You got Lagway. Y'all got a receiver in the 23 class that I really Aiden Mizell.
Dude, man.
Aiden Mizell. I wanted Aiden Mizell. Didn't y'all got Aiden Mizell, right?
Yes, we got Mizell. We got Andy Jean. We have Eugene Wilson that you saw flashes today, aka Percy Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's like, golly, we have some pieces. Can we get together? And obviously Lagway's not going to start next year.
I'm not such a believer that he's not the guy though. I think the coach I's got making a lot of good points here, but I don't know that Billy Napier is definitely not going to be the guy. Coach, what is your receiver coach buddy what does he think of Billy?
Billy Gonzalez.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to Gonzo recently, so I really don't know. I'll reach out to him, just kind of see if I can get his thoughts. But Billy G's not going to say a whole lot. He's not going to say anything bad to any. I mean, even with me, he's not going to say a whole lot. That's just the way Gonzo is. If he doesn't like it, he's just going to take his ass someplace else. He's not going to do that.
Like I said, I think he's going to win some games, but it was kind of like Mark Richt. Like I say, like Mark Richt just got to the point where he could win, but he couldn't win at all. And I personally don't see Billy doing that.
Coach, you said at one point on this show or another show that Gonzo was one of your favorite young coaches, fiery young wide receiver coaches that you ever coached with, ever.
Yeah. True.
Correct?
True. He's incredible. I truly believe he's one of the best in college football. I mean, you go back and you look at all the schools he's been at. He's always had great receivers. He does a great job recruiting those guys. And
Mars said he drunk. I don't blame you, Mars, dog. I ain't mad at you, bro.
I thought there was a reason why they were being all lovable in here this evening. You know, I love this show. It's fire. I was like,
but no, I think Gonzo's one of the best in the country, and I'm kind of like Coach I though. I'm not sure that Napier's the guy to take you to the promised land. But I do think that he can get you going again.
Yeah.
And to the point that
maybe that bridge coach.
I think he could definitely be the bridge that could get you to the next guy that will take you to the promised land.
And that's if Florida Nation allows him to be, because while we love Kirby Smart, we could not be what we are today without Mark Richt. For sure, because Ray Goff and Jim, like we had levels. Ray Goff was like 6-6, 6-5, or whatever they were. We was only playing 11 games. Then Jim Dunnan came and showed us we can go to a bowl game every single year, not just every other year. And then Mark Richt said you can win the SEC championship and have a shot. And then Kirby said, no, we playing for Natty. So it was like levels to the thing. It's like we didn't just
no doubt.
So some people see the Dan Lannings, coming into Oregon or whoever it is, and it's like you can't have overnight success. I know, like Florida's fan base, y'all are brutal coaches. Y'all, yes, like I'm talking about. I'm on Twitter, like bro, y'all like at this dude, dog. Like I'm,
like that too. The fangs come out when you start messing with Oklahoma fans.
Listen, man, I'm like, bro, like this dude lost 2 recruits to. Listen, man, he lost 2 recruits to like a Alabama and Ohio State or a Clemson. I don't know. It was like it wasn't like he lost a recruit to like UCF. He lost a recruit to national powers, and y'all was like, fire the dude now, fire him now. I'm like,
so if both coaches, I ask you this: if you could just give Billy Napier like 15 seconds of wisdom, what do you tell him? To say, listen, this is what gets you to the promised land. You have to do this to shape up in Florida, or you're going to be shipped out in 5 years. And yes, you're going to be a bridge coach. What do you tell them? What do you tell them?
I don't think and Coach, I may be a lot better at this than I am, but I don't think there's really anything I could tell him. And I'm going to tell you why. I think it's a skill set. And I think that's what Coach I was kind of talking about a second ago. I think different levels of coaches have different skill sets. Mm-hmm. And, you look at those winners and you kind of, you can draw a circle and start inside that circle, putting all the things that they do to make them a championship coach. And then you go over to a guy like Napier. He's going to have a lot of those things in that inner circle, but some of those things are going to fall outside of that circle. And I truly believe this, guys. I think every coach has the skill sets, God-given skill sets that are natural skill sets that I you can improve. Obviously, we all work on improving in those skill sets that we're not good at. But at the end of the day, there's just something special about a Nick Saban. There's something special, all those coaches that are special, Kirby Smart, there's something special about him that nobody else can do. I mean, a few can do, not many.
Yeah, I agree with Coach, man. And for me, like I said, for Napier. The reason why I don't think Napier is the guy is because, and this goes to what I would tell him, like he has to surround himself with the guys that are gonna have that it. Like again, I don't feel like Dabo was that guy as well, but he's the first thing Dabo did was told Clemson that he wanted to take less money so that he could pay his coordinators more, which was such a brilliant move because he recognized it himself. I'm not saying that's what Napier should do, but he hired Brent Venables.
He also got lucky with Trevor Lawrence.
He did, but again, he paid the guys that got him in the building. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like Napier he just has this down south happy-go-lucky type attitude for me, and that's just me. Like if you think about all the recent teams that have been in the championship, the CFP to win the championship, like Dabo had Brent Venables. I think that was a big part of it. He had Tony Elliott and Jeff Scott as well. Urban Meyer was the last person to win, and we've seen how Urban Meyer is on the film. I mean, he was in Miami Dolphins and kicking people and stuff. Like, I'm not saying that's where you should go, but like Kirby Smart, y'all have heard his rants and halftime speeches. We've seen Nick Saban, like, to be on that next level. Bill, it's kind of like he's a better version. He's a better version of Sam Pittman. Sam Pittman doesn't have that in him. He doesn't have that. So you feel something.
So you feel he's too soft?
I do personally.
That's part of
I think he's a pretty good play caller. I think that's another thing. He needs to give up that. He needs to give when you're the CEO of the team, he got to give up the play caller.
Yeah, that we are searching for a OC next year.
Yeah. So, he has got to do that. That's step number one.
So you feel he is too soft on the team. So I just asked this. Where do you go? Like what coach? Okay, minus Billy Napier, where do you even go to look for a coach that could bring Florida back to a natty?
Well,
what's the name?
There's a lot of coaches.
Well, I think the big thing here is I think
can Napier evolve into that? Because obviously
I'm gonna keep it real with you, Cody. Dan Mullen could have won y'all a natty if y'all gave him time and the AD made him hire somebody that could recruit. All those years Spurrier won. Spurrier was a terrible recruiter, but he had what's the guy that took over after Spurrier? The coach he's escaping me right now, but he was Spurrier's recruiter. When he was at South Carolina, Spurrier didn't recruit. The only person Spurrier really recruited was Xavier Clowney. He always had somebody.
The problem with Mullen is he would not fire the defensive coordinator, which was terrible. Grantham was so bad.
He was.
He cost us 2 natties.
You're talking to a Georgia fan. I know. I know.
You have the Grantham effect too.
Hey, that's where the third and Grantham came from, baby.
Third and Grantham came from. Like the dude was so bad. Like we okay. I can't say 2 natties. 1 natty we lost because of Grantham. Yeah, and nobody can say no, we didn't. The last year of Trask and Pitts and Tony and the whole crew. I
Yeah.
just don't. I like you couldn't fire the guy. Like why? Because he's your bestie. What? Like you got to fire him.
Well, see,
Like-
listen, when I told you he might be the bridge, you just said something. You said, well, because he's your bestie, why you won't fire him? Willie Martinez was our DC at Georgia. Him and Mark Rick were really close friends. For 3 years, he would not fire Willie Martinez until the AD said, hey, dog, you gotta let your boy go. He's killing us. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. And Mars hits right here. He says Kirby is a killer. So whenever we're disrespected as a Georgia team, or somebody says, hey, this team might be able to beat you, and then you turn on the game and we out there smashing heads. You know why? Because Kirby's a killer. You gotta have that guy, and that's what I'm talking about.
And I don't feel that Napier has the.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's gonna be good. Is he gonna be great?
I don't feel that he goes for the jugular. Like I yell at the TV, and I'm like, it's not that fucking hard. Just go for the just kill him now. Just take him out.
Bumbo with another great comment of the day. Listen, Bumbo is on it today. I don't know
He's
what
rolling.
you got, but yeah, he is on a roll, dog. Like it's the same thing with Lincoln and Alex Grinch. Some people just don't have it, and I'm not like,
what is that, coach? Both coaches. What is that for not have that killer instinct to go for the jugular when you're? Is it analytics now? Is it? Is it?
I'm telling you, analytics is
stupid analytics. Is it
as baby shit?
Well, all three of you. What do you think? You're up 14, and you don't go for the jug. You don't go for the kill shot. What does that say for all three of you and a coach? Why not?
Listen, man.
Got a hair on your ass.
If I'm gonna get my ass beat, I'm gonna get my ass beat because I gave you everything I damn had and I came up short. But I'm not gonna set back.
And that guy was my assistant. And listen, I'm talking about even down to youth basketball, dog. Like I'm coaching AAU. We up 17 at halftime, and I am absolutely lighting into my team. Yeah. A lady walked by and said, "Does he know y'all are up 17?" And then that guy was like, "Yeah, he don't give a damn about none of that," because I saw things that they should have been doing better. And I don't care. That's why you hear like when Kirby gives his speeches, like it's 0-0. Don't look at the scoreboard. Just play. It's because I can see this. Like if I'm but you gotta be a killer to instill killer instinct in somebody, and if you're not,
that's right.
Then you got to have somebody around you that is, and maybe Armstrong is that guy.
As long as they don't take the place of toughness, and that's the problem with a lot of these dudes. It makes them too analytical.
Yes,
and they stop remembering that football is about knocking somebody's ass out,
and that's really at the end of the day what it's about.
and I'm going to tell you right now, I can tell you this about the three of us that you were asking questions to. If we're playing you in tiddlywinks, we're going to try to fucking kick your ass as bad as we can kick your ass. And Napier is not going to try to beat your ass in tiddlywinks.
That's what I'm saying.
That's not important.
That's
like if they say, "Hey, you and Coach got to fight for the phone in the phone booth," Coach, I love you. But I'm gonna smack your head up. I'm gonna John Wick.
You're a Marine. I'm
gonna try to fucking kill you.
And I'm gonna rip your fucking head off, and I'm gonna shit down the hole.
I had a friend. I had one of my homeboys come to my house, and he was playing. I Declare War
on the show though. Come on now.
Listen, he was playing I Declare War with my son. He was like, "Do y'all be letting him win?" I was like, "Not in anything. I don't care if we playing Uno." We playing sorry. My son will come down. He's 12 years old.
Spades.
Yes.
You ain't playing. Rummy. You ain't win. My wife won't let me win in rummy, even if it's my fucking birthday.
And I talk trash play with you. My whole family will not play anything with me.
Listen, and I talk trash.
I'm going for the fucking throat.
We just did 3 hours of poker in my family, and it almost come out to a knockout, drag out fight over a $10 buy-in. Like,
see, that's what I'm saying.
What is that? Why do not coaches not have that in them?
some coaches just because that's who you are as a person, not just as a coach.
Yeah.
Like,
Is it
I'm gonna
brought
be
up
honest.
because I had a fucked up bring up and I'm a dog? Like I don't know.
No.
I want to
What
win in
is that?
everything, dog. I want to win in everything.
That guys, those are our God-given abilities that are given.
My son gets in trouble for trying to be first in math class. He don't care if he gets 10 wrong. He wants to be the first done. And we try to reconcile him, and he's like, well, you stay on the football field, like I got to be first.
I know people like that too.
Golly,
they just want
like,
to be
son,
done.
Am I wrong,
Listen.
Jason?
No.
Listen, man.
No,
I was
man.
at my son's award ceremony, and he was getting all the awards. My wife had to stop me from yelling out, "You either elite or you're not." So I was somebody to do it because I told my son the other day, it's like, listen, you battling with yourself. Like you have to be that kind of motivator as a coach or to get the best out of your players. I said, listen, you made all A's in elementary. You in 6th grade now. Then you battling against yourself now. Don't blame me. You the one got all A's, so now you can't get nothing less than an A. That's just what it is.
You're not, he said.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I was about to yell that out with kids not getting B's and C's, and I don't know. I'm like, whatever.
Here's another example, guys, and I'm gonna just tell you, all the people that I'm looking at on this screen, I guarantee you, we all have that killer instinct. And I'm gonna go back and tell you, when y'all played the game, y'all were fierce competitors.
Oh, I was a wrestler.
Well, you were.
I had an AC. I had an
wrestler.
I tore my ACL the first match. First 15 seconds of the game, they taped it up. In the match, they taped it up and said, "Yeah, go out and swing." Like,
but
he's a state champion.
You were fierce. That wasn't going to stop you.
I wrestled. I wrestled the whole season with a torn ACL.
How many guys are going to do that? Not many. And I'm going to tell you, I played high school football with a high school All-American by the name of Brad Beck. He went on and played for University of Texas. But we'd be in practice having drills and stuff, and they'd be and guys, when I was in high school, I was 5'9". I weighed 121 pounds, soaking wet. Yep. I would turn sideways and disappear. And I will tell you, they'd be having tackling drills down there, and they'd start screaming, "Roy Ball, come here." And I'd get over there, and they'd say, "Look, nobody will tackle Brad." And because he would run over your ass. And hey, I'd go 2 or 3 times and tackle his ass, at least 2 out of the 3. That nobody else would do. Now I'd get up, my damn helmet was turned sideways, and my damn body was hurting worse than I'd ever hurt before.
We beat Brian Urlacher's ass my senior year of high school for the state championship. We beat the shit out of him too.
You have to be a competitor to teach competitiveness.
We got 31 state championships. We don't play in this, where I could. And if you're a kid that grew up in my hometown and you didn't win one of the guys that won it, no good. That sticks with you forever. And so
when I was,
I was in the military. We compete.
When I was wrestling in Missouri, I wrestled against the Mangos, which are Olympians. That's the kind of talent Spencer Mango is a Olympic wrestler. Do you know what that is to grind against every day? An Olympic wrestler? Oh my God. He beat me up and down, and he was 25 pounds heavier than me. But you know what? One out of 50, I'd tag him.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
I'd pin him. 1 out of 50, I'd pin him. And I'd never let him fucking forget it. I said, you know what? I pinned you today.
With all that being said, though, guys, that's what some of those coaches don't have. Exactly. And that's something in here that comes from you as a person. And you can't fix that. That's not something you can fix. That's
just who you are or who you aren't. So I'm assuming Mike and Lone Wolf, they have 2 different opinions on this. Mike says he's very against DC and OC being in the press box. Mike and Lone Wolf, I'm assuming you guys are talking about OU. And then Lone Wolf is okay with the co-DC and co-OC. Oh, okay, Mike. Okay. I see what you're saying. Lone Wolf saying the DC and the OC shouldn't be, but the co-OC and the co-DC can. I would say this. I think the OC should be. I personally like the OC in the press box because he needs to see above the field.
I don't care one way or the other about it. I think whichever
That's
one
just
works
me.
for them.
I think the defensive guy. I like the defensive guy on the sideline because I like him to be able to get in people's face when they.
Coach has said it before. It depends on the coach.
Yeah,
there's some guys he wants to keep away from the players, right, Coach? Like, hey, we're gonna stick you in the press box so you can see better. No, we want to keep you the fuck away from the players.
Yeah.
Am I wrong, Coach?
No, I had something like that. I had something.
O and D, right? OD special teams.
Eric said maybe Levy on the sideline in some stilts so he can see the whole field.
Can we go through that real fast, Coach?
Yeah, for sure. We can go back over I'm saying
what
God.
was your...
Hold on, let me take on
What's up,
USC. What's going on? Hey, dog, before we go, what's going on, Jay, man? Hey, you want to get on here, Jay? Let me know, dog. We can get you on because I wanted to ask you a couple of things about USC, man. Like my USC Jay. Hey man, he does. He has a YouTube channel, USC Jay. He talks all USC. But the dude, he got an insider. He actually one of his co-hosts is a former USC player that played on the championship team with Matt Leinart and Reggie Bush. I want to say played corner if I'm not mistaken, and he has a lot of access. So hey man, Jay, if you want to come on, dog.
What did I speak too soon about? Hop on and tell me all about it.
Hey, I'm putting the link in the chat, Jay, if you want to get on, my guy. Go ahead, Cody. What you was gonna say?
So Coach, it depends on the coaches, right? Like you had some OC special team and DC that you would just want to keep away from the players because they were just.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
And I tell you what, what works for you. Number one, I'm gonna try to have my coordinators make that decision on their own.
Yeah.
But if it's not working, then we're going to make some changes.
What's the advantage to be in the box for
you see it
OC and DC? And what's not the advantage? I guess, Coach.
I would say the advantage. The advantage is you get to so we get to see the TV copy of games. Yeah. Coaches get to see the all 22. When you're in the box, it's more like an all 22 vision than it is on the sideline. So that's the benefit. That's the benefit. The downside is if you need to light a fire under somebody's ass, you can't really. It's not the same doing it over headphones or when the quarterback calls.
Get over there.
That's when you need the guy on the field to maybe, hey, dog, what the is going on, bro? Like that's more impactful eye to eye than it is from the box. If that's right, those are the two glaring differences about being in the box and being on the field.
And offensive coaches, let's be honest, offensive coaches, they got to be a little bit more cool, calm, collected than the defensive coaches. Defensive coaches, defensive coaches, we're all kind of a little bit of a nutcase.
What are you talking about?
We're going to get in the middle of your ass, and but those offensive coaches, they need a little bit more calmness. They need to be able to see the big picture, and you can do that on defense. You can get down at the end, behind the defense, and you can see the whole picture pretty well. So and if I had a chance, I prefer my offensive guy in the press box, my offense coordinator, and my defense coordinator on the field.
Coach, you agree?
My bad, I was talking to myself. Yeah, I agree with that though. I'm for real.
You like your offensive coordinator up high and your defensive coordinator down low.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I definitely. I like I say, I think that for more, you want your defense to play more mad, physical, like just tough. And the offense, you want them tough, but you want to be able to like analyze everything that they do more so. You know what I'm saying? So I prefer like Mike Bobo, Todd Monk, and all of our OCs always sit in the box.
Yeah.
Our DC is always on the sideline. Like Will Muschamp may sit in the box, but he sometimes, but most times he's on the field too. But Glenn Schumann is our DC, and he's always. Dan Lanning was on the field.
You got Will Muschamp too. over there?
Yeah. That's doing what he's supposed to have been doing in the first place. See, he's supposed to be a DC.
Phew.
He's supposed to be in DC. He's
No
not
wonder
supposed to
you're
be a head
fucking.
coach.
No wonder you're stacked.
Well, and that
What
goes
about
back to
Jason?
what you were asking earlier, Cody. Though, that just brought to the forefront for me. If I could give Napier one piece of advice, and Coach, I had already said it: hire the best damn coaches, assistant
OC.
coaches across every damn position. Hire the best in the country, and then you oversee it. But you hire the best ones in the country, and you're going to kick people's ass.
Do you think that wide receiver coach Gonzo is one of the best in the country? Do you think he's a Florida fit?
Yeah.
You think he's worthy of that?
But I don't think he's a head coach.
There with Urban?
He was there with Urban.
Meyer. Yeah.
Yes, he was.
Yeah. But I don't think Gonzo's a head coach. I don't think Gonzo wants to be a head coach.
No,
but that's I agree with that. First of all, Eric says you got to see over the hump on the field sometimes when you need to be up in the box, and I'm gonna tell you that's more prevalent than when you go to LSU. LSU has a major hump in the middle of their field, so if you're standing on the sideline, you can't see everything that goes on the other side. So
you're saying there's a lot of humping at LSU?
Yeah. Yeah, the hump is named Destiny Wilson.
Hey, for real. Listen.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh god. Yeah.
Jason, you're head coach of Oklahoma State, Middle Tennessee University West. What do you like for your OC and your DC?
Yeah, I'm okay with which I would probably want my OC up top to see everything too, because if you're going to run any kind of spread and stuff, you need to be making sure what the coverages are and what you're seeing. The DC, you want them in their ass. Absolutely.
Exactly.
So you don't feel that the DC has to be high up top.
No, you put an analyst up there or
guys up there for that. You could put your secondary guy, guy or something up there for you.
That's a great place for your secondary guy.
Yeah. And plus, I feel like more so the defensive coach needs to have a beat on how the guys are reacting in game, like how they're feeling, like when they come off the field. Like you got to be in the midst of everything so you can say, okay, we can call certain plays based on how they feel or how they're acting or whatever.
For sure. So my next question, after the loss today, obviously to Kansas,
I'm still talking.
Your head coach is a defensive guy.
Jason's already went on to the next game.
I know it, but I have to ask this. Obviously, that Billy Napier's the offensive guy. Brent Venables is a defensive guy. You lose that, and they should not have scored that many points against that OU defense with the talent.
They kept turning the ball over in their own territory.
Mm-hmm.
That had a lot to do with it. And then, look, everybody in here in this chat, if you're not paying attention, is trying to fire Jeff Lebby today.
Big facts. Y'all want him gone like yesterday.
And
you can't fire a guy mid-season. Like that's what Arkansas is going to do to Sam Pittman. That's what poverty programs do.
They fired their OC already.
Oh yeah, because they're poverty. They're not going to do anything. OU's still in the top 25.
7 came from a pick 6, and then you had 2 other scores that came from fumbles.
So I ask you this: your head coach is a defensive head coach, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you feel that he should be more CEO and let the defensive coordinator handle it?
No,
or do you feel that?
I think he needs to stay right in the middle of it, because I'm not sure I believe in the DC.
You're not sold on Tualapo or whatever.
Don't like Ted Roof that much.
Oh,
and I think that the other thing, and I don't know that he's terrible. I think that Bates is okay, and he's the other co-DC. But I know a lot of people at Clemson weren't that high on Todd Bates, even though he's a great recruiter.
I was about to say, Seawalt says Todd Bates was kind of okay. He doesn't think he was bad, but he doesn't think he was like top of the line. Chicken, get off the cliff, chicken. Chicken,
see what I did there? Hey,
Well, Chicken,
you see what?
Let me ask you this, Chicken. What did you before the season have Oklahoma going this year in the regular season? If you tell me 12-0, then we still want you off the cliff, but we understand. But if you didn't have them 12-0, get off the cliff, bro.
Hey, Chicken, are you in Louisiana on the hump?
7-5 is what Jason,
you had Oklahoma 7-5?
7-5 is what I had him at the spring game, I think.
No, you didn't. You said 10-2 at the spring game.
10-2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty good.
So Chicken, 10-2, still on the table.
Yeah,
yep.
it is.
Still on the table.
And so was 11-1.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
but my point is,
9-3.
We also had Florida at 4 wins. So we've already done that too because of the schedule.
That's what I'm
They
saying.
would have been ahead of schedule if they hit 11-1, 12-0. That's it. That's all there is to it. They would have been ahead of schedule. It's going to be all right. They're going to beat the shit out of Okie Light this week, and that's all I really want to talk about. I'm at the point now. I'm done talking about Kansas.
But Kansas is a tough game. It's like the SEC Mizzou. You know what I mean? It's cold.
They
it's
play
noon.
well.
Am I wrong, Coach I? You know what I mean? Coach I knows what I mean.
You don't want to go to Mizzou in like the end of October, beginning of November.
Yeah, it's like it's deer season. We're more worried about shooting deer than
Mizzou had about as much success against Oklahoma as Okie Light does. 1-10.
But that's what I'm saying. Those are the teams you don't want to visit, like on a rainy, cold day, dog. Like
that's what you did. And that cold front came through. It was like 38 degrees, rainy.
So Eric says, I think Levy is good with his scripted. He said, I think Levy's good with his scripted drives early in the game for situations, but I don't think he's good on the fly. And that could be true. That's what I'm saying. Like, I never worry about somebody's first drive. I'm gonna be absolutely honest.
I think he's too gimmicky, man. That's my problem with him. Is he's too damn gimmicky. I don't want to see another wide receiver running out of the backfield again.
Can we expand on that? Because Florida looked elite against Georgia, correct, Coach I? The first drive, the script. What is that about the script that as soon as those 10, 12, 14 plays are gone, that the whole offense or defense just elapses? For not just Florida. Coach for Notre Dame and Jason for OU, we've all seen it this season, and Georgia at points.
Sark can't work off of anything but his script.
Well, see, this is the thing about a script. You spend your whole week leading up to the game,
and they had 2 weeks. Florida had 2 weeks.
And you have about 14 plays that you're going to know. You got to think the other team is coming. They're running their script based off of what they've seen on film. Georgia, then the team comes out and then, Florida's doing this. Oh, we got to change that, dog. Like, and when
we got to shut down Eugene Wilson because he's. And
then sometimes it's the players. If you watch, like Eugene Wilson scored the touchdown on the slant. Dalen ever got beat. He scored on the slant. Next time. We had a different guy on him. He got the first down on a slant. And then Javon Bullitt, number 22, when we was in that same predicament in the second half, 3rd and 6, he was like, I'm tired of seeing the slant. And he blew Eugene up. He's like, he read it. It's like players learn from what's going on in the game. They have a feel for it, but that's because they've been prepared for it. The thing is, if you only prepare script stuff, like, okay, well, this is what Georgia's going to do. But what about when Georgia don't do that? What about when Georgia doesn't throw to the tight end? What are you going to do now? And some people can't prepare for that. And that's what happens a lot of times with some people that are analysts, and sometimes they need to stay analysts because
do you think that the analytic point of view, real fast, I'm sorry to get off on a tangent real fast, Coach, I just want do you think analytics are getting into football way too much?
I think
instead of your gut.
I think they're getting in football, all sports, way too much. I mean, we see it in football, we see it in basketball, where literally in the NBA, coaches tell players you can't take a mid-range. It's either a layup or it's a three-pointer. In football, you see analytics telling coaches to go for it on 4th down when they should be kicking field goals. I mean, I think the analytics help. Don't get me wrong, but like when you coaching, you got to be paying attention to the game, man. You guys like
sometimes it's a gut. Sometimes it's a gut feeling.
Sometimes you guys gotta look. It's situation, exactly. Like if it's
You
been
feel
kind of
it.
like
You feel it in the
stalemate both
stadium.
ways. Yeah, if it's a stalemate both ways, you might want to go to the analytics. But if
You know, like
if I've
fourth and
stopped you
inches,
all,
fourth and inches on the 30 on your own 30. You know,
Bruh,
I mean, just
that's-
punt that bitch. When you're
Dan
getting
Lan-
60, when you're getting 60 yards a punt, just punt it.
Dan Lannon did it against Washington right before halftime. He should have kicked the field goal. Come out the second half. Analytics both times the analytics told him to go for it. Both times he came up short. He ended up losing by 3. So, like, bro, like if I'm a coach and I'm in a situation where we both scoring points, sir, listen, I'm getting.
Do you listen to him?
You use them to make your game plan. That's what you do.
Okay, Coach I, you're in the national championship game for Georgia. You are the head coach for Georgia. Magically, Kirby dies, and you are.
Let's say I won the lottery
head coach
raffle or something.
Yes, you are head coach 1. Do you listen to the analytics or do you go with your gut?
Situational. I'm telling you, situational.
If a guy's telling you in your ear it's 4th and 3 on our own 30, this team's way better than us.
Depends on what the score
we should
is.
go. I think we should go for it. Oh, no. You know, like 14-7 early.
No. So that's what I'm saying, though. If it's early 14-7, that means we both been
kind of like today.
To move the ball, but both been struggling to move the ball.
You know, they have a fast defense in every aspect.
I'm not listening to that. I'll be honest with you. For me, analytics play a part in my game plan before the game. Like when we're in the game, it's all.
You ain't listen to it.
That's all a feel. It's all a feel. I don't care nothing about analytics. Once we tee it off, I don't
Coach
care
Roy Ball, you ain't even have analytics.
Yeah, he did. What the hell is analytics?
Yeah. What did you go off of? Okay.
No, Cody, this is what I'll say.
The kicker's away from the sideline, number 1.
And this is what I'll say, Cody. When I think of analytics to use them, I'm thinking of like when I'm Georgia, I'm preparing for Florida, I'm coaching against Florida. I'm using analytics based on what Florida normally does. Well, Florida normally in this situation goes for it. So I'm going to prepare for you to go for it on 4th down. I don't care what the analytics say that the other
I should do. What I should do.
Or what I should do. Like, oh, well, normally, 4th and 3, it's a better chance for you to get a first. That's counting for all the teams. I don't care nothing about all the teams right now. I care about the team I'm playing. So what do they like to do? Yeah. What are their tendencies? That's where the analytics come in. Like
what's
tendencies. Yeah, tendencies. Like that's how Kirby was able to call a timeout in the Peach Bowl against Ohio State when they line up in the fake punt formation. He's like, not analytics, but they was like, in this situation, Ohio State could possibly do this based on what Ohio State does. So I'm gonna call the timeout, not based off of what everybody else does. That's the problem. It's like everybody else is doing those kind of things. Oh yeah, okay, mate. Oh, Jason. Oh yeah. You got to get up out of here. Yeah, hey man, I done had y'all on a long time. Y'all know how it is today, man. It's 2:48.
You guys can talk for as long as y'all want. I was just letting you know.
No. I wasn't paying attention to the time, man. It's all.
Hey, the professor gets it like this, just so you know. You let him in,
professor. That's right, man.
We'll never get him out. That's
all. We're gonna have to have a show, Professor, man, and chop it up, man. I appreciate you jumping on too, man. Hey. Everybody in the comments have kept it live tonight, man. The Fanatic people, the Hall of Fame, anybody else that joined in on us. I think some people might be watching us. Me and Jason both got it going on Twitter, so I'm pretty sure some people might comment on Twitter. Hey, man, appreciate Cody for stopping through, man, for the Saturday Night Snack Up. Hey, Coach Roy Ball being on for the first time, man. We've been meaning to get you that link, and sometimes he be a little too sauce to get him on anyway. But he wasn't sauced enough tonight, so we appreciate you. But me and Jason doing this every Saturday, man.
That's right.
Listen, for the OU fans and Oklahoma State fans, it is bedlam.
Get ready.
Coach I will be in the comments. I'm gonna let y'all have them, because it's gonna get testy on the Hall of Fame college football this week, man. So I'm pretty sure Cody's gonna be in there. I'm pretty sure what was the guy earlier today, Louis Louis, make sure you get over there. I know he's gonna be in there. It's gonna be. I'm gonna have my popcorn ready.
You may not want to see what's gonna be on that channel.
Hey,
Okie like Cody probably be on this week, son.
Yeah.
At least a little bit until I piss him off.
That's right. Before we get out of here, Cody, tell the people where they can find you, man, this week.
Or whenever. It's High Top Sports. I'm over there at High Top Sports Sunday. I have the Sunday show. We do a college football recap, and then I am the producer of the Saturday college football pregame show. We do like a
which I haven't gotten an invite for. I haven't got the invite for that one yet.
Coach we're gonna have you on this coming week because I love you, man. We're gonna get you on. No, so we do a kind of like a around the table type deal for the Saturday show. It's 9 o'clock in the morning, 9:30 in the morning. It's super fun. But yeah, so we do a pregame show. We are all the time ripping off content.
Will screw you out of that game at the end, though. That's just going to be how it is.
Yeah, Shelton's wild. I will say this: Shelton is wild, but we love him. And it's I am Cody the Professor at High Top Sports or High Top Sports Professor on Twitter.
It is.
Can I ask Coach one question?
Yes, sir.
You're at Skyline, Coach.
All right, boys. I'll see y'all later. Have a good one.
All right, Jason.
See you, brother.
You're at Skyline. Early in the game, you're versus Permian. Do you go for it on 4th and inches on your 40 early in the game because analytic tells you to, or do you go with your gut and punt it?
Well, I think there's lots of factors that go into that. You know, what are we in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter,
first quarter?
First quarter, early in the game. Okay. Next thing is what.
It's a feeling.
I mean, there's a lot. I mean, there's inches to go. If I'm sitting in my
against Permian, your Skyline against Permian.
Well, Permian traditionally has a small line. Skyline, when I was there, our offensive line averaged about 305. I think I can whip their little asses up front. And I'm probably going to go for it because now I'm not saying I'm going to. I'm probably going to do it because, again, situational. And what game of the season is this? Is it first game?
This is to get into the the playoffs.
Okay, and what's their record?
Let's say they're 7-0 and you're like 5-2, 6-1.
Well, the only ones that have anything to lose, in my opinion, in that scenario is Permian. If they're 7-0, we're 5-2, and I got 2 inches to go. I probably feel like I probably have to go get that first down.
Okay,
to make a statement.
Now I'm gonna upgrade the talent level.
Okay,
Dallas Carter in their prime, which you played.
Yep.
Are you going for it?
We did. We did it with Carter before. And
with that big
matter of fact, we ended up scoring a 69-yard touchdown off of we were 4th and inches and scored from 69 yards out.
Not because the analytics told you to, but just because I felt like I had to do it to stay in the game.
I felt like we had to do it.
Did you beat them that game?
No.
But you felt like it was the jugular shot.
We had to. We had to do everything possible in that game to even have a chance. That was early in my tenure at Skyline.
I think it's just a feel, man, and it just depends on the game, and that's the thing. It's hard to say, and like you say, you got to know your opponent, and I think the analytics should only be used as it pertains to that opponent, not what everybody in college football has done.
Oh, for sure. The analytic thing is kind of blown out of proportion.
That's
Yeah.
what the problem with these analytics are, man. All right, man. I got to get up out of here. I appreciate y'all showing up and showing out for me, man. Appreciate everybody in the comments. Hey, man, y'all go check out Cody if you haven't already, man. Y'all know where y'all can find Coach every time on the Hall of Fame College Football. And this is the Fanatic Sports. I'm Coach I. This is Saturday Night Snap Count. Till next week, we out.
Thanks, Coach I. See y'all.
Love you guys.
Love you, man.